Disclaimer. The content presented in this show is intended for entertainment purposes only. All opinions expressed are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of any individuals or organizations mentioned. Statements made about public figures or entities are based on publicly available information and are not intended to harm or defame any person or business. This show relies on fair use of social media posts, which are presented in good faith for the purpose of commentary and criticism. Viewers and listeners are advised to form their own opinions.
Circle Back right here on the Circles Off YouTube channel, part of the Hammer Betting Network and presented by Underdog. I am your host, Rob Pizzola. To my left, it's not Kirk Evans today. He's away. Takes by Jay, Jason Cooper, rocking the mullet, which a lot of people have been talking about recently.
Give us a side profile.
It's not as bad in person.
Okay.
As because you've been on TV at the Leafs game a few times with some side profile. It looked like a really Joe Dirt, but it's okay.
I'm gonna quickly defend myself. It was pissing rain that day for the Leafs game, so it kind of fucked up the hair. Someone told me I have a bad hairline. Comment below if I do. I was like,
no, I have a bad hairline. Like, you do not have a bad hairline.
No.
Kirk Evans in your chair usually has a bad hairline.
No,
as well.
It was a response to a tweet of you guys. I wasn't even in the tweet, and the guy's like, Jason, your hair looks horrible, and like you have a bad hairline. I'm like, I don't know. You tell me if you agree with that.
Like before playoff games, you have to get your hair done now. You're on TV all the time.
We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to a playoff game, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I'm here. He doesn't want to say it around me. When I ask him to do something, he's I got something going on tonight.
Honestly, you'd be a heavy favorite. If I don't even know you that well, but I would put you down as like a significant favorite, I think, to be going to a playoff game.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll be there. Geoff Fienberg, of course, one of our regulars. Jacob Gramegna producing today. And it's going to be an eventful show because we're coming off of a pretty amazing sporting event that happened over the course of the weekend. Jacob, you can lead us in here with McIlroy's moment.
Yeah, so the introduction for the show today, we're talking about the Masters. Rory McIlroy finally completes the career Grand Slam, his 11th attempt to do so at the Masters. This was his 17th overall attempt at the Masters in general, but finally did get over the line. Before we go into all the tweets, though, just obviously, Rob, Geoff, big golf fans, just sum up, I guess, what is it about Rory McIlroy that has everyone so infatuated with him and wanting to see him win?
Me and Geoff, we had this conversation off air a month ago. What tournament was Rory in the mix in and kind of blew it? Remember we were talking, I was making the argument that Rory McIlroy...
No, it was after he won the Players, and he didn't win good enough, or he didn't play well enough on Sunday, so he had to go to a playoff, but it was more like, even when Rory wins, he still, hasn't done enough. He can only, win, which isn't enough,
right,
or lose, which he gets destroyed for, and it's just all about the majors. But yeah, I go for it.
Well, it's been a decade where he's been trying to complete the Grand Slam. So it's just been building year after year after year. So it's a really long build-up for one. But I've always kind of made the argument that Rory is this generation's Tiger Woods or Jack Nicklaus. But he's not as good as either one. So he's always been held in that high standard for this generation. And this is I'm glad Rory got the Grand Slam done. I'm actually really happy. I was very emotional actually watching the final round of the Masters, which is weird. But he's always been held in a regard, in my opinion, that the expectations are just too lofty for the actual quality of golfer that he is. And even you look at the Masters conversation now, right? This past one, he fucking won the Masters. I don't care how he did it. He won the Masters. You could talk about all the ups and downs. He choked the putt on 18. He double bogeyed the first hole. Who gives a shit? He won. That's what everyone was saying. He's got to win the Masters to solidify himself as an all-time great. He did it. And even after the fact, a minority of the conversation afterwards, I will say, is still about how he tried to gag it away, but he couldn't quite get there. If Patrick Reed didn't miss a couple putts, he would have been in the mix for the playoffs. There's always this secondary conversation. But I personally thought that this Masters, maybe recency bias here, but I would say it was maybe it was a top 5 sporting event that I've watched in my life. And a couple weeks ago, I talked about how I wasn't around the night where Duke got ousted and blew it against Houston. And I missed being on Twitter that day. I was on Twitter all the final round of the Masters on Sunday. It was fucking epic. To me, it was great.
I texted you at 7 a.m. yesterday morning telling you, Rob, I think this is going to be one of the biggest sporting days of our lives. Nothing to do with like a bet or a favorite team. I like Rory. I like Rory a lot, but he's not like a favorite team.
Yep.
But I just wanted it so bad for him. I got emotional so many times during that round. You would have thought I was like on menopause or something. When 13 happened, not just for Rory, like Rose hitting the putt on 18.
I know.
Got me like this is just like I was having so much fun and I was like, I couldn't handle it. I truly couldn't. 40 years old, probably on the quick path to diabetes. I will, I don't keep myself in the greatest health. I love life, live good. When my number's called, it'll be called. My number will for sure be called before something like yesterday happens again.
It was pretty incredible.
It truly gives the day out. Like that was a once in certainly a generation, but maybe a lifetime sort of Sunday. It was everything. And I love golf.
My brother texted me and he's like, "Is it just me or was that the best round of golf you ever watched?" Like, I'm like, I think it is insane. From like the double to start and him losing the lead immediately, then going on a run, and then kind of the ups and downs of the entire round were insane. I will say, part of me when I was putting together the script for today, I was like, I watched this. Geoff, is definitely in it. I thought to myself, I'm like, there's a decent chance that Jason was probably watching the Leafs game at 5 o'clock against the Carolina Hurricanes instead of the Masters.
Well, actually, I had a family dinner during the Masters, but I was propped up, phone on the glass watching. I was honestly like, listen, I'm not the biggest golf fan, but like, not that I'm not a fan of it. I just don't watch that much golf.
Yeah.
But I was watching, and it was pretty cool to see. Like, I was bothered by the stuff I saw on Twitter with people trying to take stuff away from Rory, as if like going through the ups and downs. Like
I did.
There was a little bit of it.
And I
it's
am like inherently in golf Twitter, and I didn't see that from golf Twitter.
True.
That must have been in like
it's just the negative
rage, baby.
You're more in golf Twitter, and I'm more in gambling Twitter. And I think a lot of people were rooting for other people that were in the mix, as was I. Like, I bet Bryson, I bet Patrick. I had 3 guys. I bet Corey Connors.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it was stemmed from the rooting interest not being Rory from a gambling perspective.
I get the betting aspect of it. I had a lot of Reed stuff too. Thankfully, Bryson choked. He cashed me my top live ticket. A lot of sweats were happening alongside at the top. But I don't know. I didn't. That's just like a Philly sports fan who would find the worst in any moment.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like that. That doesn't even fucking register.
Like there are very few times where I can cheer against my bets. Like that doesn't happen to me often.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for perspective, if any of Bryson, Connors, or Reed wins, at bare minimum, I'm winning like $34K. Okay, so it's not insignificant money. It matters. But I like literally was thinking the entire, especially the putt on 18 that he missed. I as a human being, I'm like, this guy needs to win because and like, this sounds insane because if he finished second, he's going to make a few $1,000,000. He's still going to be considered a great, but like, you could feel the pressure of that moment for him. Do you know what I'm getting at?
Did you feel like he was gonna miss when he was stepping up to that putt, like deep down in your body?
Yes.
I looked at that.
I want you to know.
Brother, I'm like, he's missing.
The first,
this.
yeah, I did.
He's missing.
And I got to tell you though,
far.
maybe the biggest pre-tournament outright bet I ever placed was last year's U.S. Open on Rory. Okay, and he gagged a couple that day, so I had scar tissues of that. But after that, like, as a guy who loves Rory, wants to see him A, win the major, B, have gotten this Grand Slam, so we don't have to talk about it. And the Masters, he's so likable, and we get him forever, and that's what makes the Masters and winning it different. I felt watching yesterday more nervous than when I had that bet a year ago. after last year, I said, I don't need to bet Rory to win a major. I'll be happy for him if he does. Obviously, I wish I bet him yesterday, but I had feels that were like bigger than my U.S. Open feels a year ago. So I don't know. I think it's incredible for golf. I think it's great for the PGA. I think it's exactly what they needed. And Bryson should be thanking Rory McIlroy, not trying to turn something of he didn't talk to me like it's an episode of Breaking 50, like my buddy Pat Mayo pointed out. But Rory's hold on. Rory's day was a shield for Bryson.
Yes, 100%.
Because Bryson, with a mediocre day, has a green jacket yesterday.
Yeah.
So everything that Rory did has literally protected Bryson from certain criticisms he should potentially have been walking into today.
So I'm a Bryson fan.
I don't not like him.
No, I admittedly am a big Bryson fan. I won a huge golf future on him many years ago, which like kind of I like paved the way to me growing my bankroll very quickly, which helped. Plus, I love his YouTube content. I think he's fantastic. I tried so hard to get him on Circles Off, and it was so close. And then he won the U.S. Open.
Rory's supposed to talk to him? Like, Rory's been through enough Sundays. So
they just asked him a question, and he answered the question. I don't think it's anything more than that. No, I don't think Rory's supposed to talk to him. It's competitive. Rory can do whatever the fuck he wants. But he was asked like what Rory's.
But then even like cut off the follow up to be like to even cut off the follow up question to just make it clear he wasn't like talking to me at all.
Well, like, but what was he supposed to do in that situation? Because it's either like he says he wasn't talking to him, or they didn't speak at all.
We didn't speak,
and he comes off as an asshole though, as if he wasn't trying to talk to Rory. Like, we get it. Rory was in the zone, and he has to be in the zone, of course, based off his history, right?
I think he could have done a better job of delivering like a more PR friendly answer, where he's like, "Listen, the guy was in the zone. I tried to talk to him. He wasn't having any of it. That's fine." Like,
and I will defend because I'll shit on Marco Morikawa all the time easily, but we're not that show. That's a different show. I do that show separately. No one, football, basketball, baseball, no one has to, when they choose to talk to the media, it is in a shorter time period from finishing to the media than in any other sports. Now, they're not obligated to, and that's a thing, but when they choose to, it is then in a position where it is literally like practically walking off the field. And there's only one guy that wins, so you have just a potpourri of opinions from a lot of guys. So I'll defend your points to like, like these guys don't even get like a 5-minute cool down. You ask them a question, he answered the question.
Yeah.
So, I like the alternative is the Colin Morikawa of like, don't answer question. Like,
no, that's not even choosing to talk because you blew like.
Well, he had a very disappointing round, did Bryson? Like, very disappointing. Yeah. He was leading the Masters after 2 holes in the final round. Like, and his irons let him down, completely fell apart over the course of the day.
But he also knows had he played like average, he's where he has a green jacket right now.
What is potpourri? What did you say there?
You're not familiar with potpourri?
No.
This is not a bit. This is completely real,
no, I'm being serious.
moment.
I don't even know how to explain it.
This is like another Geoffism that I love.
No, see, you calling it potpourri a Geoffism is like ridiculous.
I don't know exactly. Like, it will give off a good fragrance.
Oh, you're talking about poopery.
No, that would be like a product.
Okay.
That is like.
No, it's a fragrance.
Yeah, but poopery, like you put in your toilet or whatever.
That's because of potpourri.
Exactly.
Like
potpourri is a play on potpourri.
Yes.
Okay, my bad. My
dried
bad.
plants that.
It's like dried plants that give off an odor, but it's like a consortium of different dried plants.
Okay, well, I'm.
It's like
I've never used
sorry,
it.
I sidetracked.
I've never heard it used like that, but I.
No, a potpourri of reasons.
I would say a cornucopia.
Yes, that makes more
of reasons.
Anyways.
But potpourri is a bunch of different dried. I get it.
I got it.
I didn't find it unusual.
Heard it, but I got it.
Okay,
I found it unusual that you didn't. You thought you knew of poopery.
Yeah, well, that's.
But not potpourri.
Jason also.
Okay, here we go. Sorry. No, you're good. Go. Okay.
He texted.
What did I text you?
No, it was nice because like obviously you don't watch like golf a lot, so like obviously you're just in on the majors, and you're like, okay, Fienberg, hear me out. What if it was like red zone, but for golf? And I even think you even gave it a name. We'll call it Green Zone. And I'm like, Jason. Yeah. And I'm like, Jason, like,
No, I'm talking
listen
quad
to
boxing.
one of
No, but they
my-
cut to the action so quickly.
No, but he's on a regular. And I'm like, Jason, like, be like golf fans, like we've been screaming about this on my podcast for like 10 years. You are literally a kid you just put French fries in his hamburger and think he invented it.
Yeah, I did say that, but I think it's a good idea. Like I think there should be a second channel with like a greater extent of coverages with 8 different shots at once. I want to see everything.
Well, the Masters is different. They make you work hard. We're pretty lucky in Canada, though. But on a regular week-to-week PGA, if you actually liked it, you'd tilt.
Yeah,
because it's
okay.
They make you dance for your food.
So okay, wait, quickly, before we move on to the next topic, I want to get your opinions on I think it was the PGA account tweeting out the video of Rory talking about how he likes his suit or his jacket fitted. What was your opinion on that? On the Sunday morning of the Masters. Did you guys see that?
Well, I think they asked him that question prior to the
Of
tournament.
course,
So he
but
said he doesn't know if he's a 40 or if he's a 38 or whatever.
But like,
yeah, they're just.
I think they have that. That is like when it's the World Series and like everyone has to do like the video.
yeah, but
Right? For like the
Yes.
Chiron stuff.
Yeah.
And they have 20 players in there, and they ask them a question about what jacket you wear, and if you're contending, they have yours to use. Like I think you might be.
What did you think of
I
the
don't know
Chiron guy putting up for the career Grand Slam on the final putt? Like I've never like.
Well, I like that. It's like
I loved
in
it.
tennis where it's like championship point.
championship point.
It's not
I
just
agree.
match point now. It's championship point. This is different.
I loved it, but it was like it really caught me. It's like a weird thing to catch.
And
you
on the
off guard. I'm like,
close, kudos CBS. Thought they did a fantastic job.
Yep.
There was a couple moments where I thought the early in the round where the audio on putts
was a little off.
I feel like you could hear the crowd reacting before the putt, but they fixed that. It happened one or two twice. It's a sin. It's a crime, but it didn't happen again. And this was early, and it's not easy to do. I thought they did a banger job yesterday.
good for you for picking up on that like little nuance in the broadcast.
Well, there's a difference between the roars in the distance.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the roars at the holes at hand. And then what would happen is
It was delayed. Like the video was delayed.
Slightly.
slightly.
Oh, yeah,
but then the guy would miss the putt, and you'd hear the exact same pitch and tone of the
The Oz.
but it was the exact same.
Yes.
So you knew that that was literally so. Someone got in trouble quickly. They fixed it.
Okay.
But yeah, incredible job.
I look forward to breaking down Rory's Masters dinner menu next year on the show. That'll be an interesting
I
one.
was thinking the same.
What do we?
I don't know what
are we
Northern
getting here?
Irish cultural
Yorkshire.
I don't know.
Yorkshire. I don't know. Like I actually don't know what.
I don't know what they'll
Neither
do.
do I.
Wow.
Like that's why I'm very much looking forward to it. A few tweets that caught my eye over the course of the week. This one's from Blesbets. This was on Thursday, it wasn't on Sunday. Said, I don't get why people love watching the Masters. Golf is so boring to me, which obviously as a golf fan bothered me. But it's not that he finds golf boring, because you can find golf boring.
Yeah.
You're allowed to like.
Golf can be slow and boring. Yeah.
I in my head, I don't love tennis. I don't love watching tennis on TV, but when I can watch like a Grand Slam final between two great, like I grew up with Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, and like some epic battles. I would wake up in the middle of the night to watch some of the Australian Open stuff. Like I would still like you just can't recreate.
You
that.
like sports so much, you can like respect the stakes and the situation and like what's involved, even if it's not your favorite sport. It happens all the time, like almost with Olympics or something. You just get drawn into an event that you really couldn't give a shit about.
I just don't like when people put these takes out there. It almost feels like engagement baiting.
It is.
Rage
It
bait.
is
No, this
100%
exactly
rage
it.
bait.
This is rage bait, man.
This is also the most like Zoomer take on earth. Like this is like you're still 16 years old and you like haven't figured out what patience is yet, so you're like can't watch golf. It's like grow up a bit,
Yeah. I don't love MMA, but like I'll watch the biggest UFC events. I think you can find like
Absolutely.
But it's like not even like why people love watching the Masters.
I don't get why people love watching the Masters. How about it's the Super Bowl of golf?
Yeah.
It's that simple. Like that's why people watch the Masters. It's literally people who don't care about golf will still watch it.
It's like
it's that simple.
any big sporting event,
Yeah.
you'll find a tweet like this. It's
You're
just
right.
Rage bait. You know?
There was a few others. This one, Johnny actually sent this to me on the weekend. I think this was before the final round. But yeah, Claire Rogers tweeted golf fans for the next 4 hours, and it's just this image of we're so back, it's over. We're so back, it's over. This literally could not apply better to Rory's final round. Yeah. Like it is the perfect imagery.
Like hole 13, then what was it, hole 16?
No, started hole 1.
Hole 1.
Well, yeah, hole 1, yeah.
But so
it was so crazy. Sometimes you forget the first chapter.
I know.
Right?
It's true.
You know what it was? I was on the road. I was watching on my phone, and I wasn't in the country to watch until the second hole, so I missed the first hole.
Yes, but I'm just saying it was. But literally, even for me, you try to live back the day and just the swings.
Yeah.
What a shit show.
Hold on, sorry. Was it not Passover this weekend?
Yeah.
Passover this weekend.
Were you like have Passover dinner during the Masters, or you like organize?
I'm
so that
in the
wouldn't
West
happen?
Wing.
Okay. What does that mean?
It means no one's bothering.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm Eliyahu.
Okay.
Okay, there's a seat for me. The door is open for me, but no one is looking for me.
Okay, sorry.
They know.
Yeah, they know.
And
they know.
even last night, I'll say it devolved. It like just usually is in like the nice dining room all set up,
Yeah.
and it was just like children and women eating, and all the men.
All the men were
You see what he tried to do there, though? He tried to get you.
I didn't try.
He tried to get you live on the show.
No, I just asked the question.
Buddy, everyone is on notice. Like major championship golf, I guess, Hitman can get up for it, but like week 1 in majors, like don't even fuck with me.
Yes. I love TA's tweet of, I have to say, the no phones at Augusta leading to live reactions on the manual board is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the old NFL. I love that about the Masters, how there's just so many people gathered around, like watching the scoreboard change in real time and the electric reactions. Hitman said professional football and a close golf tournament are the 2 most entertaining sporting events. Number 3 has a lot of ground to make up. I will say he got ratioed pretty hard on this from people who were going in saying, have you ever watched the NHL playoffs? Which I didn't really realize, because I'm a big hockey fan, but I didn't realize that the NHL playoffs were considered that. I mean, Geoff stuck his tongue out in disgust right there. Like,
No, I mean, but I'm of this opinion, like, even professional football, like, at what stakes? Like, the stakes...
The Super Bowl often sucks.
Yeah, like, sure, the great ending of the Bills-Chiefs games, absolutely enthralling.
Yeah,
but I don't.
It's kind of 2 weird things to put together. Professional football,
like you are using
incredibly wide net.
I mean,
and then a close golf.
But also the NHL playoffs is a wide net.
That's true.
It's like saying like day 1 of March Madness, like you
or
get
like week 0 college football.
Well, what are Hitman's passions? Betting football and playing golf. No shit, he likes both of those things. And number 3 has a lot of
choose your own
ground.
adventure, whatever.
Of course,
choose your own adventure.
I do try to think of like I think anything at high stakes can be extremely entertaining.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what.
Your fucking boring ass Italy games. 0-0. I could have no money, but the stakes are high.
Yes.
I am not a fan of it. But I get it. I respect it, and I'm into it.
I've literally seen Jacob watching finals of like big darts events.
Yeah,
while we're
that was
doing the
actually
show.
honestly pretty electric. I remember that.
He's got one on right now. He's watching darts right now. He actually has it on. This is what I mean.
This is actually the final of a little tournament.
Is the 17-year-old playing now, or is he 18 now?
He sat out this tournament.
Okay.
He's managing his schedule. This isn't a big
schedule.
tournament.
That's crazy.
He's got to get.
Do they
school
get
in.
tennis elbow, or is it called darts elbow for the?
That's a good question.
No, they don't get that sort of injury.
Okay.
I think there's 2 elbows. I think there's tennis elbow and golf
Here's the
elbow, and
thing.
it depends on which way you can rotate.
What if you can hit it right down the?
I would just-
do you get both? Like I guess that's dart
I would
elbow.
just say that, like the respect that your wife, like that a wife for the most part gives the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I would say, like there's like week 1 of NFL Sunday, and Master Sunday are probably more
100%. I think this
like they need to learn that.
We might
and
have
like
learned-
I said many times, when we get together in the summer, like barbecues with the wives, I'm like the meme. I'm talking to my friends' wives in the corner, boring her, letting her know. Like certain things she's got to realize, like they're important.
Yeah.
And she, like the respect she gives the Super Bowl, she has to pass that respect along to other things.
Yeah.
On Friday, my wife was like, what do we got going on this weekend? And I'm like, Sunday, consider me a write-off. She's like, all day? I'm like, well, there's the Bahrain Grand Prix. I'm a big Formula One fan. Is on at 11 a.m. And then I'm like, Masters, son. She's like, Masters, we're doing that again? You're doing that again? I'm like, babe, get it through your head.
So that's weird. You guys been married way too long.
Year.
For the rest of my
Like,
life.
I'm lucky. Me and my wife dated so long.
Had
that,
I known,
like,
I would have just called you, Geoff. I would have said, Geoff, here, talk to Diana. Let her know.
let her talk. But listen, if you're going to keep pressing this issue, when I get Rob on the phone, I'm going to recommend he toss himself down the stairs.
I established early, like, sports are always going to be part of my life. It's just something
Yeah,
you're
you
going to
gotta do
get
it.
Like, obviously, like, don't even bother me week 2 when we're playing the Carolina Panthers.
Of course.
What's
well,
wrong
that's
with
the
the Panthers
problem.
are a good
Listen,
No, I didn't mean
feel
it like
bad.
that.
Come on.
I feel bad because
Yeah.
I get the whole football season. Like, she knows.
I get it.
Like, it's Thursday night football and it's fucking
Okay.
Titans, Jags. I'm watching.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
And guess what? My baseline is okay, Dad. Major championship weekend, absentee dad.
You just make up for it in other ways.
Yeah, we'll make it up for it in other ways. I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can we just go
Take him out of school, go to a ball game this week, maybe.
quickly? I want to know where you guys rank. Like, if you're like, where is
Don't-
watching the Masters live rank in terms of live sporting events to go to?
So
What would you
I've
think I was
never
going to say?
been, so I can't. I thought you were going to make a stupid joke about week 0
No,
college
no,
football
no.
and ask us to compare the
no.
Masters.
So
but
I
like-
have
like
to
to
go,
attend.
but I will say this right now. I don't think I'd want to be there on a Sunday. But I
Really?
will do it at
So-
least one time.
Yeah, that's
but
what
I'm
I
gonna
would
go.
think.
I'm
It's
gonna
tough to follow it.
I've earned to treat myself to like a full fucking week. I don't care.
Yeah.
I've earned it. Okay, and I will do it. But the thought of like sitting 3 holes away, staring at a scoreboard, waiting for it to turn, like I could get how a non-golf fan thinks. That is the dumbest fucking thing in the world. Like, I get you're sitting and walking around a cool place, but like you're not watching the event. You're sitting 3 holes away,
and you don't have your phone to
only
even
know.
keep up with it.
But that being said, it's like quaint.
It's the
and like
pageantry of it all.
the no phone is amazing.
Yes.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
Like I would adore it. Like it just seems so incredible. Rory even said like, I love the no phone. And from a guy who took a fan's phone
Yeah.
a couple months ago. I get it, Rob, but here's the thing. If the days I do get to go, I will literally first man in, one of the last men out. Like every moment of every day that security allows me to just wander,
Yeah.
I will like wander.
I try to avoid like big crowds wherever possible. I'll go to concerts and stuff like that, and that's like if I'm in the pit, that's like the closest I'm gonna get to a big crowd. But like I see like the really old concerts like Woodstock back in the days. I have no interest in being amongst that many people. If I was at the Masters this year, I would have been watching Justin Rose at the driving range. Like there was no one there. He's literally at the range and there's like 10 people sitting him watch. I would have been there because I'm more interested in seeing like golfers up close than I am being part of standing, a fucking mile
15
away.
deep.
Yeah, like it
30
wouldn't
deep.
even have been that. It was way more than
Yeah,
that.
no, I'm just.
But think about how slow the final holes played. Like Rory had to wait to tee off on
you
8.
don't-
It was like that's not my.
I want to
idea of
go
fun.
to like walk, and as much as I'd want to be there for tournament play, a practice rounds there would also just be outstanding because you can get a little close, and you just like walking around there. I think is what you want to do. But I've never heard someone who went and said they had a bad time.
Yeah.
Now maybe that could be because they like spent so much money, or they feel a responsibility to just. Like they sign a contract maybe to walk on it. Just feel like when you leave, you have to say everything was amazing. But I've never heard of someone who was there like complain about the things I'm complaining about.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking about at home. It's
true.
So it does actually seem like it is like certainly the number one sporting experience I'm going to take in.
But there are sporting events that I've been to before where I had a great time, but said to myself afterwards, I probably would have been better off just being on the couch watching that.
Yeah.
Well, like going to an NFL game at 40 now seems like the worst
Especially a 1
experience
o'clock
of my
Sunday
life.
game. Like
I'd
would
like
never
to
do that
experience
again.
the Masters in person. I'd like to do it. It's a bucket list item for me. I would like to be there but I can imagine that I would do it once and then be like, okay, that was great, but I'm going to watch the rest.
Yeah,
of
I don't know if I could want to watch Sun. I'm a neurotic freak. And like, here's the thing. I love the Masters, and it seems like what people say when they go is like everyone's just so happy to be there.
Yes.
You're like, yes, like the world is so toxic, but if you have a pass, you're just so friendly to one another. But I don't know that I'd be an ideal patron. Like I'm never like mashed potato guy can go to hell. If anything that ever came out of my mouth when I've been at a golf tournament is encouraging a player, but like Minwoo Lee chips in on like 11, and I'm like, we're cooking, we're cooking.
I've seen
like,
you at golf events before, Geoff. It's you're
What?
definitely not the ideal Augusta patron. I'll tell you.
No, but that's the thing, Rob. Like I clean up nice. Like you know where you are. Like I know how to.
Yeah.
You know
how to blend it.
You know what you got to do. But yeah, I don't know. You've never seen me say like a negative word to a player in my life, though.
No. But I don't take this too offensively, but loud and obnoxious. I've seen that before.
Oh, but I was really. You're like 15 years. I was really drunk.
Tommy
in
Fleetwood.
Florida. Yeah.
Yeah.
But hold on, we're friends.
Yeah,
You're talking about
you walked the Canadian Open with Tommy Fleetwood's dad a couple years ago, and he remembered you.
Yeah, hold on though. But you're saying like, that was like me in an all-day drinking tent at the Honda 10 years ago. Yeah. But it was just encouraging. Me telling a guy he's going to win the Masters.
Yes,
that's rude.
No, it was
a little pressure.
It was a really loud.
No, but
it
like
was really
2 months before the Masters.
Yeah,
I don't think it was the pressure. It was just the delivery. It was just very loud, like extremely.
But it was more loud, like yes, because the phone is like beside.
Okay,
you on the phone. You told like you got his.
You saw Tommy walking, and he was recording.
Someone else was recording.
Oh, okay. And you said you're gonna win the Masters this year.
But me and Tommy are boys. I saw on video the embrace we had after we blew the Canadian Open. That's tragic.
What an embrace. Before we move on to the next topic, I do want to shout this out because it's my favorite piece of content that comes out every single year, which is Chris Vernon's Masters updates, which happened in the first couple rounds, or just the Thursday potentially. Can't remember exactly.
First 2 days, I think.
First 2 days.
Yeah, because
I forget that this exists once the Masters goes away, and then it comes back the next year, and I'm reminded of how good it is. I actually think this is one of the best, like, segments. The delivery of this content is so. It actually upsets me that I never thought about doing something like this. I know what it sounds like, Geoff. I completely but it's so good that I wish it was me that was able. Okay. But no one can copycat it now because it's like so unique. You know what I'm getting at?
Well, yeah. I would say this for everything that is a hit these days, people do try to replicate it. Yes. This is so good and so original. This bit is so original and been hit on the nose that no one will even dare try it.
I know.
Because you would have to literally hit a hole in one for people. Like, you either hit a hole in one or it's shit. So there's it's almost not worth it, but that's just the credit to it is content so perfect it can't even be copycatted at this point. Like people don't even attempt it.
No, you shouldn't. There's no to me it is not a 10 out of 10. It's like a 20 out of 10. It is so good. I watch it back like 4 times over, and I know it's so repetitive, but it's still so funny. The way that jokes continue from year to year, like not being able to rhyme anything with Xander Schauffele, and then he always finds something to rhyme with Schauffele. I think it's just.
And I feel like he's lost some weight because I just see him once a year. So it's like that relative. You see at one gathering, he looks slimmer than I saw him a year ago.
He does. But anyways, I mostly negative on the show, some positivity. I think that's a really, really good piece of content. Before we move on to our next topic, let me tell you about our sponsor here at Circle Back. Playoff basketball can be a grind, but now Underdog is giving you a reason to hope that every series goes the distance. They just launched the Extender, one of the coolest promotions that they've ever run. Here's how it works. You start a playoff series by making an entry in Game 1. When you do, you unlock a boost for that specific game. Then if you come back for Game 2 of that same series, you get an even bigger boost. Game 3, bigger again. And if it makes it all the way to Game 7, you'll be working with one of the biggest boosts of the entire postseason. The longer the series, the bigger your potential payouts. It's as simple as that. It's a really smart, rewarding system that's unique to Underdog. And honestly, this is one of the best designed products in the entire space. The platform is smooth, the entries are fast, and it's just a great experience from top to bottom. So if you're watching the playoffs anyways, and you want to maximize your edge over a full series, the extender is where it's at. Head over to Underdog, hit the link in the description below, use promo code CIRCLES when you sign up. You'll get up to $1,000 in bonus credit as a new customer. That's code CIRCLES, and the longer the series goes, the sweeter your boost gets.
Next topic we got here feels like a bit of a Black Mirror episode, but for gamblers. This one was a lot of divided opinions on it, but it comes from Ryan Butler at Butler Bets, who says the spouse of the recently deceased DraftKings customer with roughly $100,000 in separate futures on the Boston Celtics to win the Eastern Conference playoffs and win the 2025 NBA Finals has had their and the sportsbook request granted by the Massachusetts regulators to void the bets. So if anybody isn't following the NBA, the Boston Celtics are actually, they might be the favorite, at least one of the very big favorites to win the NBA championship. They're the big favorites to come out of the Eastern Conference. They're the 2 seed right now, but are favored over the 1 seed Cleveland Cavaliers. So this sparked a lot of opinions. If you know the regular, like it says in the tweet, the sports book had this request as well. But these positions naturally are a lot more valuable than the $100,000. But more of the conversation kind of shifted to the idea of your spouse not letting your bets ride, which wasn't what I was expecting. But Stadco Stan said, that's a tough situation. Credit to the regulators and DraftKings for doing the right thing. Grief's heavy enough without sweating futures exposure on the Celtics. T-Bone said, at Vegas T-Bone, if I die with any futures bets, please don't let my family void them. Let them ride. Ian McBets says, if my wife doesn't write out my futures when I die, I'm going to haunt the shit out of her. And then Steffi Smalls says, you can say a lot about me, but I would never fucking do this to my future husband. I'm bringing your ass into the game. We sweating this shit together. So, okay, we'll start here, and then we'll go to where I thought this was actually going to go. But, yeah, you guys, if you guys had big futures bets riding on something like the Celtics, and you pass away, do you want that bet to continue? Do you want to let that ride?
I not only want the bet to ride, when I'm dead, I want in the will to my children that they must make my shitty bets in perpetuity.
That like bet the Chargers.
Yeah, the Chargers every year.
Yeah,
like,
you are right. Like you're no. Like if
part of
you
your
want,
estate, you set money aside to bet the Chargers.
like this money is for the Super Bowl. If the Chargers make the Super Bowl and you're not there with my grandson, then you don't get your money.
Oh my God.
But yeah, like sure, throw on. I want you to keep making my shitty bets even when I'm dead. So obviously those pendings better ride.
I'm very interested in the backstory of this all because this man dies. Mm-hmm. So how does the wife know about the futures tickets for one? Then what is her move? Does she go straight to the sports book? At that point, DraftKings definitely sees like, well, these are actually really good bets.
We're fucked.
Like he's got great EV on.
That's what I'm saying.
On these bets. So yeah, of course, sure, let's void them.
And are they obligated to be like, are you sure, ma'am? Like you have a strong position here? Is that like on the moral? Like did she reach out to his VIP host? How does this even work? Is there not like if I died, let's just play it, and I have the futures.
Yeah.
I have enough friends who my wife is close enough that know we're like-minded to be like, Jeffrey has these futures. What should I do? And they would look at them and be like, Ashley, I'd advise you this or that. Like,
right.
That's what I'm like. How is there no middle person between her and the sports book that she would have asked about what's going on here?
Go ahead, Joe.
I wonder if I wonder if she had access to the account or even if she knows how to work an account because like I assume there would be a cash out there for this. No,
yeah, but she would be
maybe
cashing
she needed
she
the
would be
liquid.
cashing out on or someone else's name. Like that's a violation of.
Is that?
Oh yeah.
Maybe
you can't. I can't log it. Like, God forbid Geoff passes away and I have his account numbers. I can't go cash out his bet for him so that his wife makes more money. That's a violation of terms.
And also, how would she have? If she does cash it out, how would she have withdrawn the money for someone who is like?
Yeah, like obviously the cash out was more.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that
Can
she
I just
got
ask
rinsed.
a question? Because it's actually really important. I don't know whether it's discussed, but it should absolutely be clarified. It's $100,000, right?
Yeah.
500.
100.
100 on the nose. $100,000
The
on
tweet
9
says
different bets.
roughly
totaling-
100,000
sorry, my
in
bad.
separate
Like,
futures.
let's just say the husband's a fucking fraud scammer.
Yeah.
And like he's been living a lie.
You're slandering
and the
this
house,
guy's name now,
No,
man.
I'm saying like the house isn't paid for, or like there's
God.
things.
Yeah, that's-
and like the reality isn't the reality, and she needs that fucking $100K. So that I'm just saying,
People who
that's
are going after the wife and being like, oh, like bad deal.
I didn't mean to deface the man. I'm just saying
don't
there could be a
understand. Yes.
scenario
100%.
that reality isn't what. Not everything's what it seems
That
like
money
it is.
is more important. The 100,000 is more important than the
She
expected
needs it
value.
now.
Yes.
She needs it
Yeah, but
now.
also
Her
remember,
spouse just died. Yeah.
Remember, her husband just died. She's in a pretty horrible place.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That's-
it's possible that instead of dealing with the headache of anything associated with this, she just wants the money and she just wants to put that side of things to bed.
Sure.
Get
Fair.
the money
But what
back and
is it-
just move on.
What side of it to?
Would your wife have any understanding about like the expected value?
No, but that's
of
what
your
I said.
Celtics
My
future?
wife would know that I have like friends who she knows well enough that would be at. You'd like to think would show up to my funerals or post death.
Like, what's happening with this Chargers
events.
tickets?
No, not that they know, but like she, in the same way you would get consultant for all sorts of things. Be
Yeah.
like, can I run this by you? Like, does this, right? Like, just running it by a family friend who knows your husband, knows he liked to bet, who he spoke about his bets with. You might get more of the story and an understanding as to what she should do about those.
Logistically, what would happen if she didn't void them and they won? How would they withdraw the money?
I was thinking about this a lot this week.
There's got to be something in
This must have happened before
Yes.
many times where people pass away with money in the account.
Is it different than a stock?
let me
Why is
go to
that
the
any
next tweet,
different
'cause-
than if
'cause-
my
well,
stock?
there's like a
Explain the
terms of
next tweet.
services there that says
This is in terms and conditions, according to Captain Jack, who brought this up.
Okay.
Because RX Gamble tweeted, "What happens with funds when a customer dies? The site doesn't know. The account is dormant for an X amount of time before triggering the auto. You've been inactive emails, so we're closing your account. Are they obligated to register the funds with the state so it shows up in some public registry?" So Captain Jack responded. Captain Jack, very well versed in these sorts of things, professional bettor, says it's actually in the terms and conditions of most operators. In the account of your death, your liquid assets can be obtained via a death certificate and proof of estate. Probably best to use an estate lawyer, but should be able to be done without one. This case was looking to void pending wagers. I think any state would choose to void. It's the same thing if you self-exclude. All pending wagers are void because you are no longer a valid party in the wager.
So what if they were bad bets?
I was gonna say, what if it was on like the Golden State Warriors,
Right.
Or something
Or
like
what
that, who are
if
in
they're
the play-in
bets that were
tournament right
like
now?
Okay,
the book?
well-
What would the book do?
They would.
You could just void it and get the money?
So in this instance, it seems to me like she went to DraftKings and then they had to get approval from Massachusetts
Yeah.
to void the bets. Now, in another case, let's say they were terrible bets. Toronto Raptors to win the title, and they're like out of the play. Or let's say it's a playoff team, but that doesn't have much of
Warriors.
it. Golden State Warriors is a good one.
Well, you could argue, but
Sure.
Where the
Let's
easiest
just-
bad.
I
Where
don't-
the
yeah,
easiest bad
I just
relative
pick
to
a
work.
team where the
Okay.
line is way
Grizzlies,
worse.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah, someone who's in a play-in tournament,
Yeah.
Chicago Bulls, whatever, right?
okay,
Yeah.
the Bulls. Sure.
Yeah, something like that, where you probably
Sorry, I don't
place
watch
the
Or you know what? The Heat. The Heat's probably the best
Okay,
example.
okay.
The Heat.
whatever the team is. It's a team where the bets are probably going to lose and they're at bad numbers. Then that's very I would hope that the sportsbook would say to the wife, sure, but I don't know that would be the case if I'm being completely honest.
But didn't it just say if I self-exclude with pendings that you would get the money back?
That is a very sad workaround.
No, I'm not looking to do it. But if the bets were shit, she wanted the money back. She could just say this account's over.
She could, but again, with the account specifically, now that person is dead,
I guess she's not. Can't.
nobody else can make decisions on that account. This is violation of terms and service of every regulated sportsbook account. So you can't just go in and now self-exclude because now somebody else is making that decision. That's the real problem with the entire situation. So she had to directly approach the sportsbook. I would hope that the sportsbook would say, okay, fine. But honestly, I don't know that would happen. And this is not a commentary on DraftKings. It's pretty much a commentary on any sportsbook.
I just think that they like obviously did this to make it seem like they were saints in this scenario when they like, I don't know.
Yeah, we need to discuss like they maximize their EV.
100%.
Great PR move.
And
If I died, like I would want my friends collecting from the bookie.
Yes. I will say it is kind of important to make sure that with your significant other or whoever's going to, you keep notes of like where you do
course.
have money
Yeah.
for this type of situation.
So
Yeah, but I don't have like.
Like at least she knew, because think about the this question here. RX Gamble, Gina Fiore, and Captain Jack. They don't really talk about the scenario where your money is just like, I die and nobody knows I have the money in my DraftKings account. Yeah. What happens? Well, guess what? Over time, they're going to see the account is inactive. They're going to reach out to you, and when nobody comes back and says keep the account,
They'll
open,
give you like a 90-day window to reach out, or it's theirs.
they're going to
something
close
like
it and
that.
cease fund. And it depends on the state, but usually it either goes directly to the sportsbook or directly to the state, or they split it. So you're gone. The money's gone at that point.
Credit to the wife for even knowing it's there. He must have been happy about his CLV to let her know.
You can't put any blame on her in this. Like,
No, zero. Anyone who's putting blame
she gets
on her,
credit. She knew to check that. So that's a smart thing in this day and age. Is like, yes, there's accounts, yes, there's stock, yes, there's mutual funds and all that fucking great shit. Check the books.
Well,
check the sportsbook accounts.
I just still don't understand why they wouldn't just give her fair. Like I guess maybe she asked for it to be void, but if I was
cash out value,
just fair cash out value, because we already know that fair cash out value, whatever, not fair cash out value, the cash out value on DraftKings is not fair. It's better for the sportsbook if you were to cash out.
Is she allowed to hit cash out and then withdraw?
She wouldn't be, but I wonder if she could go to the regulators or go to DraftKings and like for example, if I were DraftKings, if I were operating it, I would have just given her the cash out value.
Sure, but okay, she went to DraftKings.
Yeah, and asked
it didn't happen. I don't know this for certain.
Yeah.
But there's a 99.9% chance she went to DraftKings and said, my husband passed away. This is his account. I would like to just get the original money back.
Yeah.
And they didn't say, like, they just said yes.
Yeah.
There was no thought put into, like,
I guess.
oh, you deserve the cash out value. It was, we're going to honor the request that she gave. Yeah.
If she had the appropriate information to prove this, like Captain Jack says you would probably need, then she has the information to get into the other things, which makes me think that there might not have been the funds in the other things.
I agree.
That she needed this money.
Yeah.
That's sort of where my brain went.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And dying is expensive.
For sure.
Yeah.
You ever buried
cost money.
You know how much that industry?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
When I pass, this is just me. I did laugh at a lot of but Ian McMillan's response got 1.2 million views.
Oh my God.
Okay, on Twitter. Like this was a real thing that people were talking.
Ian is
like
so
if my
good.
wife doesn't ride out my futures when I die, I'm gonna haunt the shit out of her. Pretty funny.
Ian is so good.
But
He's so good.
I like honest to God truth. When I die, I'm gone. I don't give a fuck anymore. My wife can do whatever the fuck she can ride the bets. She can cash them out. It doesn't matter to me anymore.
Absolutely.
And that's where I'm at on the entire situation. Hopefully I made good bets and she's got some plus EV bets if she wants to ride it out. But if not, I don't know. That's just where I stand on the situation.
How would you guys like a plus EV futures in someone's will and given to you? Would you how do you feel about that?
Like if someone left you the
Like
futures?
someone left you
I don't know that
one
you can,
final
though.
sweat.
Can they leave it to you is the question.
Well, let's say they have a ticket from, I don't know, like Proline or whatever, and they just give you give it as a gift before they passed.
I mean, I wouldn't hate it.
That would be, how do you make a pro line on Tuesday morning and die on Thursday?
No,
okay, let's hypothetical
What?
example, but like you're left with like a
Super Bowl future.
How about for
on the
you? You're left
Chargers.
with a Broncos future.
But it's plus EV.
But it's a great bet.
The
Like
Broncos are 14-2 and they're headed to the playoffs, and you think you're croaking this week? I guess give it to me. Yeah, sure. If you got a Vegas ticket, a printed ticket, and then something, I don't know, man.
You can list it on. You can list it on.
I'm not
you can
afraid
list it
of
on
dying
prop
either.
swap. No,
Yeah, prop swap and free roll yourself.
just go put it on prop swap.
Yeah,
No.
You free roll it, yeah.
free roll it on prop swap. It's a good way to go about things.
All right, let's keep it moving here to Matt Zylbert.
Next topic. This could have been the leadoff, and as a little surprised, maybe Rory winning does enough to make this go third, but this could have been the leadoff. So it's all about Matt Zylbert, Mr. Over-Under himself. Made a name for himself on gambling Twitter for calling people out. replying to people, asking for their documented record, ask them how they're doing this. He is all about documented records of other people. But he got himself in hot water on Friday when he posted an article on Deadspin where he posted an under 8 at -105 at FanDuel in a game that went over within 6 innings but got rained out. In the house rules on FanDuel, total run markets are settled as per the 8.5 inning rule, except for when a result has already been unequivocally determined. Therefore, this bet lost on FanDuel, which was where people were reporting the original article had referenced the bet. Now, the allegation is that Matt Zylbert went into the article after the fact to change the bet to a bet on Caesars instead, where you have to have the full 9 innings for action. Therefore, this bet was voided because it did not go the full 9 innings. This was posted by at Franco Rambo 24 or Frank Rambo 24 at Jason Williams I7. Good account to follow. And then says, "Is this what you guys want? Someone editing articles after the game is over?" Same guy tags everyone on the internet claiming they are not documented. This is just the start. Deadspin. I got plenty more to come. We had some reactions from people. Follow-up is that Zylbert has been caught with his hand in the cookie jar. We had Trav at He Hate Me 2_0, good account as well, who posted the same screenshots from Zylbert. And we had Mr. Peanut Butter, who was a recent guest on Circles Off, who said, "Did Zylbert really change the book he took the under at? You either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. I am crushed. Rip to the cat." Well, Zylbert got called out. He got called out, but denies it. Zach White at Gamble Balls says, "Zill, last night the article said under 8 -105 at FanDuel. Then after the game was called and after midnight, the article was updated to under 8 -110 at Caesars. Conveniently switched from one book where the bet was graded a loss to one where it was a push. What are your thoughts?" And Zylbert himself says, "No, it wasn't, my guy." And Zylbert's been going at Trent for weeks and weeks and weeks. And this
months.
was book it with Trent's moment to come back. He says, "Unbelievable, but not surprising. You gave out a shit play, prayed for a rain delay, and scammed all your followers who didn't get refunded of your shit wager, and then changed the article overnight thinking no one would see that you claimed to have it placed on a different book, but that voided loser behavior." Now, you might be thinking, well, who really knows for sure if it was edited? Who really knows? Like maybe a Microsoft Word screenshot was used to make it look like it was fake. Well, we have receipts. We have proof. Jason Williams came back with a photo of the article showcasing that it was in fact edited after midnight. If you think that was a screenshot, well, we have I Run So Bad 1, amazing account to follow for gambling Twitter. Took a screen recording, a video of what a normal article would look like that is unedited versus this article, which was edited, close and shut proof. And Zylbert, who I always come on here and I say does not have a documented record, he always ends up in my mentions after every single fucking Circle Back episode, who just putting your fucking record at the end of your articles doesn't mean shit, because now you put 941. Anyone can type 941. You lost a bet, and you like any ounce of credibility that you're maybe earning back from people like Rob, who says he wants what's best for gambling Twitter. Any ounce sliver of credibility you've earned, you've thrown it away for a push instead of a loss.
Rob looks so disappointed. I will tell you this.
I'm not.
Masters weekend, like a nuclear bomb could go off, and I could miss it.
You missed it.
You're just getting it now. I saw your original authentic reaction.
Well, I like you, like I ride for Zylbert. Great shout Saturday on that Reds Pirate under. Zylbert, don't let these guys bring you down. No, this is ridiculous. This is.
But let me. So, It looks bad. By the way, there's a 99% chance. First of all, there's a 100% chance that this article was altered. Okay, that's been made very clear by the metadata that shows that there was a change after midnight in the article. Okay, what I want from Zylbert is an explanation as to how this can possibly happen, because his first response was that someone doctored this in Word, which is fair because you know what? I went on my computer this morning. It took me about 7 minutes to find the font that was used, that the Deadspin articles used. The screenshot that was shown was not a full web screenshot. It was just somebody very easily could type up something in Word, take a screen cap, and say, this was the original article. But the metadata, that you can't come back from. Here's my question. Is Zylbert actually able to alter an article? Because I'll tell you, for the writing I've done in my life,
You couldn't, right? Editors.
has Deadspin given Zylbert access to the back end, where he can log in and post an article or change it? Because I would never do that with a writer. I would always go through one of our editors.
And Zylbert, like a lot of people who post articles, like one of their big fallouts or like safety nets is, when I sent it in, this was the line, and we've all been on both sides of it. Like, it takes sometimes, A, you're not priority, or B, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Or C, they just are busy.
Yes.
And the article goes up 3 hours after you fucking sent in the final work. And that's a tough spot. But I'd be shocked if he has back end control at Deadspin. You could do
a lot of stuff.
How do you trust the marinara banana guy with the back end access?
Guy's ripping darts in his living room. You're gonna give him
On the
access
floor, by the way, on the floor.
to all the. I mean, listen. There's a possibility.
Yes.
You can restrict access.
But he complains that his articles
Yes.
aren't getting up, so I don't think he has the ability to just post something.
he says he sends them to an editor who then reads them and posts them.
So I think the first thing here is they also could have just edited, like if this was doctored, you can edit it within the website itself. There's like an option, text edit. You can edit any text on a website, but it's only on your screen.
Maybe Deadspin's doing it for engagement.
Right? I don't know.
Yeah, I remember we did that.
So
to
you can do
did
that,
to Hitman
but
on
also,
Live
like
Lock.
you said, I wonder. I obviously think that he did this. Why would he play a worse number?
Yes.
Right? Like FanDuel was 105, Caesars was 110. Why would he be playing the worst number in the event of a rain delay? Is he the weatherman now? I don't know, but I wonder if you can edit that part, because I don't know if you can.
I don't know either. So the way that I like to approach these situations is,
Did you reach out to him for comment?
I have not, but I've learned from the past, and especially with this show, we made these mistakes. I mean, listen, we're like, I don't even know how many episodes we're in now, but we very quickly rush to judgment on people, and I want to get into the process of like, let's find the facts first.
Yeah.
At this point, though, Zylbert he has to. You cannot be the Mr. Documented. I have documented records. Once this allegation comes out, my first thing is like, okay, who's accusing him? Well, everyone fucking hates him.
Yeah.
Okay? So there would be reason for people to try to set him up. But now that this other stuff's come out, you need to offer an explanation and you need to offer receipts. If you're going to say, my editor changed this or whatever, there's got to be someone who's got to own up to
Isn't he
that.
in
Well,
a high
it's-
stakes contest now or something?
He's
with
so
these
okay.
picks?
He's in the Spanky contest, where luckily for him,
this was voided.
It was voided as per his contest rules. But I will say there's one way that Zylbert can fix all this. He says he bets all his plays. Show us the receipt from Caesars, and no bullshit about pay me to show the receipt, because your integrity is on the line. If your integrity is worth,
I agree,
$100, $1,000, $2,000,
I'm with you.
that's embarrassing.
And he
Like,
says he
you
doesn't even care about money.
Exactly.
It's just about being known as the greatest bettor.
One of the biggest problems, though, is that he claims to not own a computer, and so
What?
he would have to. Yeah, he claims to not.
He's
own
got like a 5-gen old iPhone
Yes,
too,
so he-
right?
and
But how
that's
does he write his articles?
that's what I was going
He
to
goes
get
to
to.
the
I don't know how
library.
he
He
writes.
goes to the library.
Cat of the library.
I saw how careful you were about pronouncing library.
Library?
Yeah, he
tried
goes.
so
He goes to
hard.
the public and he bashes out an article.
I'm curious to see that, but he did. To be fair, though, he did say when he got the $2,000 for the bet slips that he was going to buy a new computer. So maybe he did, but he claimed he cannot post the screenshot of the bet or whatever because it will crash his iPhone 7, or his iPhone 7 doesn't have the capability of doing that. Listen, maybe we're going to have to wait till Wednesday
We gotta
for him
get
to log into his
we-
account
this
on
has
the
to
bar
be gotten
computer.
To the bottom. At the end of the day,
100%.
listen, I have maintained my opinion on this for a long time, and sometimes new information comes to light, and you say, you know what, I was wrong. But I always thought that Zylbert, as fucking annoying as he is, and by the way, love Trent's response, because if someone's going to go after you that much for years, you get to go back at them.
All-time ratio, by the way. I wish you included the likes. Go look at that tweet. There's like maybe like 100x the amount of likes and retweets as the original tweet.
I believe it.
I think Trent was at the Masters this week too.
Wow.
Him and Prop Swap.
Was he? I don't know.
Oh.
I don't think he was. I could be wrong.
I'm astonished. This is the first time. This, of all things, you're like, you know what? This time, let's wait.
I agree, Jacob. I was thinking that also.
You know what? I think this is the one.
Rob is like, you know what?
A little bit more proof.
We've made mistakes here. I've run my mouth too much. Zylbert, we're going to let this one simmer a little.
Think about it logically.
I don't know how he has back-end access.
This article,
I agree.
Who the fuck is giving Zylbert access to the articles?
This article was 1,000,000% edited after midnight.
Oh, 100%. He easily could have reached out to an editor and said, hey, I made a mistake in my article. Can you correct? That could have happened.
Yep.
Somebody's got to get to the bottom of it.
I think it's easy. I mean, look, I guess we cannot 1,000,000% confirm, but like, would you say it's more likely that there was just a random edit, or that he reached out to an editor who maybe, like, think about the type of people you'd have as editors. Would they really know a lot about sports betting all the time? Maybe not. Maybe they had no idea. I just made a mistake with my line.
I just find it preposterous that Deadspin would give him a login to. We've known for years that he, at least he claims, that sometimes the lines on his articles are stale because he sends them in. Someone takes hours to edit them and post them. I would say, from my experience, I worked at the Score in content. There's always processes in terms of who can get permissions to certain things. It would be very unlikely that he would have the ability to edit his own.
The guy who just started posting baseball picks like 3 weeks ago, it's impossible. Like Rob said, he's worked behind the scenes with these companies.
There is something that's
but
happening.
But he reached out to an editor.
That's very possible.
And does he submit his articles the night before? Do we know, or does he do it in the morning? Because if he submits it the night before, it could have very easily been submit the article. Hey, the article's there. By the way, there was an error in my previous article that I sent out yesterday.
I'll stand by him. If he admits his mistake, I'll be here for him.
Listen, I was shaking when I got this information. I was curled up in a ball.
It is almost. It is impossible.
In a state of despair.
I believe. I'm a big believer in second chances. I do believe in like innocent till proven guilty in society and stuff like that. But when you are spending a decade essentially going after people for documentation and like where's your and you make one mistake and it's done. Reputation is done. Okay. So the burden
this isn't a mistake. This is a
hustle.
Whatever the reason is, if he feels pressure now to have a winning record because he's in the spot, whatever it is, you cannot do that. If you are going to claim
this is more of like a coordinated cheat than a mistake.
Yes. Like there's other stuff that drives me absolutely crazy about the fact that he just does not include the COVID baseball season in his record is a disgrace. And his argument is like, well, it was a different game. Like there was no fans, whatever. Like, would you include? Of course, you bet them. Yeah. If you bet those plays, they have to be included. That, like, to me, is a complete joke. This one in particular, I think there's about a 90% chance he's at fault in some way. Clearly, there was
I would bet the yes. Not if you gave me 90% fair odds, I would bet the yes that it was like I think it's more 99.99.
What are we betting? Like there has to be
yes
some,
no.
But like, how are we going to get to the bottom of it? We have to have some.
He posts the ticket from Caesars, or he posts the ticket from FanDuel, whichever. Or and then if he doesn't, if he's not able to post it,
ticket's never seen the light of day. I got bad news for you.
Yeah, but if he posts the ticket, that's fine. It has to be on his account. But if he doesn't post a ticket, then we have also a greater problem where he wasn't betting the stuff he does, which he claims to do, right? Like he claims
he does claim that he bets every.
So that's also important. So
if
we have a different issue.
I'll say this: I will be floored if there's a Caesars ticket.
I agree.
And if he does, I'll issue a public apology.
So will I.
Because
I'll donate $50 to a local cat sanctuary.
But now it's now that these accusations have been thrown out there, you can't just respond and be like, no, this wasn't the case.
Yeah.
You have to proof. Offer.
No, it wasn't my guy.
Yeah. You have to offer some sort of alternative. You can't just I'm like completely out on the spaces at this point. But if you get invited to the spaces to share your side of the story, come
He
with
already
the
did,
facts.
but he got invited.
He got invited. He didn't show up last.
He didn't show up because he was drinking on a Sunday, which again, like that guy drinks on the craziest days of the week, Sunday and Wednesday.
Well,
that
Amanda
is
Vance drinks Sunday and Saturday.
every day.
Yeah.
Like so, I mean, just
you
but
can't-
like
not going to judge him on the drinking.
I've got an easy fix for documented records. Documented record is not, a little line in your article. Maybe like actually publicly
Third-party
track
tracking? Yeah.
your bets at a spot which your bets cannot be edited. That would be the easy fix. Then you would never be able to be questioned about your bets. We'd have completely valid proof. If somebody says, hey, where's your documented record? Here's the link. Here's my public tracking. Do you track your picks? Are you winning better? Yes, I am. Here's my documentation that shows I'm winning better, not just a line in your articles.
He has stated before that he won't do that because he often buys a half run or half point, and a lot of the tracking systems don't let you do that. He does not want to link his sports
Yeah,
book.
but he also told me he
of-
very rarely buys points.
Well, that's
what's
also
the truth?
So at this point, I'm out on Zylbert.
yeah.
So he's lost his spot on the Super Bowl special next year?
If he shows up, if he has the same hair and beard again, you kind of have to have him back because that image of him is etched in my memory.
I just don't want the radio silence. I would like him to address the situation.
He's just going about it like it didn't happen.
If
Next
someone-
day, he posted his record like it didn't happen. He
If
posted
someone
with the
made
void.
these accusations about me, personally, I would defend myself, or I'd post a public video explaining why it was false. If I had the bet slip, just hide the bet amounts. If you don't want to show bet amounts, just show the bets that you have the bet slip.
Yep.
So I don't know. Till further notice, I'm out on Zylbert. I do believe that he's trying to do good in the space, but there's delusion that comes with that as well. So I don't know. I'm thinking probabilistically at this point, and
It doesn't look good, man.
it's not looking good for Zylbo. It's not looking good for Zylbo.
Ever had a deposit blocked by your bank right before a big bet? Ever needed cash at 2 a.m. for another shot at the tables but hit your ATM limit? EdgeBoost has your back. EdgeBoost is the first ever bank account built for bettors. EdgeBoost gives you fast, reliable access to your funds, making it easier to move money when and where you need it, without delays that can come with traditional banks. For you high rollers, you can move up to $250,000 per day on your EdgeBoost Visa debit card with unlimited withdrawals. This works 24/7 for instant deposits. Never wait for a wire to clear again. It gets better. Every time you deposit into qualified gambling accounts, you earn cash back rewards up to 0.5%. All this for no usage fees and no minimum balance. EdgeBoost is a debit account that makes it easy to get started with no credit checks, no minimum balance, and no usage fees. Simply verify your identity and you're ready to go. Finally, EdgeBoost has a suite of responsible gambling tools to help you manage your bankroll and make informed decisions. What are you waiting for? Go to www.edgeboost.bet or click the link in the description below. Sign up for EdgeBoost today.
As a reminder, we do value all your feedback here on Circle Back. You can use that comment section down below and hashtag Circle Back on Twitter or X if you do want us to talk about anything. Some comments from last week. This is like the third week in a row now that this is going to be here, but I want to address it finally in full. Smokey Steambet says, I can confirm that Americans say the word parentheses, although it is an odd word. So many of the comments last week were about us as Canadians not using the word parentheses for what we call brackets. Okay?
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Standard
yeah.
brackets.
Yes.
They look
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah. I know. Bed mass. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But it's
Pedmas.
PEMDAS
Yes.
or whatever
Yeah.
in the US. Parentheses is a word that we understand. Like if somebody said to me parentheses, in my head, I would also think brackets. But we do not use it. People are like, well, then what do you call the other? We call them square brackets. I
Yes.
call brackets like this, brackets, and brackets that are square,
Square brackets.
square
The
brackets.
semicircle or the boxy one.
Is it that's just like the Canadian lingo.
I got nothing to say on this. Yeah, I'm betting golfers.
sorry,
What do you
just
want from
checking.
me?
But if somebody said parentheses, I would know.
I was administered a challenge to say the word. Somebody said in the comments, Jacob says parentheses level impossible. I think I did
Parentheses.
it there.
Yeah, but you slowed it down a lot.
Yeah.
Like anyone could say the word. You see
a tough
Jeff
word.
say library a few
Hey, man.
minutes ago. If you slow it
Library.
down long enough,
If you have a lisp, it's a tough one. Parentheses.
there you go. Punter's connection. How in the hell did Kirk not connect Italian Mamba 08 to Kobe Dude lived in Italy. Even if the poster's from Italy, potentially the hint is there. Mamba equals Kobe 08 equals Kobe. Come on, man. Mamba 08 was the
what are we
winner of our
talking about?
contest.
I didn't
last
catch
week.
that, dude.
None of us
Wait,
did.
how did you guys not catch that? That was the first thing I thought of.
I don't.
Shut
you
no
go-
I'm just
way.
fucking
I'm being
sitting
serious.
here like.
Kobe.
So,
08.
I'm
last
reading
last week's giveaway winner was Italian Mamba 08, and that
Yes.
was a Kobe reference.
Wait, did Kobe live in Italy, or is he talking about Kirk living?
Kobe
in Italy?
did
Kobe
live
did live in
in
Italy.
Okay,
Spoke fluent Italian.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
But I know the Mamba 08 is like, if you see Mamba 08 or Mamba
Kirk
24.
immediately said, "Is this guy like 17 years old?"
That's
Did
what
he
I
start
said.
bet-
That's what I
Did
said.
He's born in 08, and immediately my mind went there. I didn't
Fair.
really think about anything else. So, yes, it's on all of us. It's not on just Kirk.
Even if it was Italian Mamba 24, I wouldn't have got that.
Winner of the contest for the swag this week, by the way. Last week was Italian Mamba 08. This week it's at Buckle Up 8962. All you got to do, email us, circlesoff@thehammer.bet. Give us your address. Give us your sizing. We will get you a swag bag next week. Lee Rat 9591 says Ernie L7 putted from the 3 feet at the Masters once, so even 4 putting every green is no guarantee, but that would be a fun challenge. I got to tell you guys, last week I said I would win the Masters if I putt from the furthest point on every green. I often forget until I watch the Masters again how difficult the greens are. So I'm going to publicly retract that statement.
Yeah. Good.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I confirmed, watching over the weekend, confirmed I'm not winning the Masters like that.
Yeah.
The amount
I'd
of,
like
like-
to try it.
Didn't somebody? I forget who it was. They had a birdie putt from 3 feet. Ended up bogeying
Was
the
it
hole.
Hatton?
It's
No,
Pat- it's
it was
Patrick Reed
It was
yesterday.
Patrick Reed
Yeah.
yesterday.
But that
But
happened a couple
Cam
times.
Young had a disaster class on one hole as well. Yeah, I mean,
the amount of
Masters, it happens.
3-footers you see get missed, and then to think, I'd miss so many.
it's not even just the 3-footers. Some absurdly long putts.
Yeah, but
They'll
you
literally
think
go
you're-
off the green. on
Yeah,
some of them.
but also
Yeah.
you saw some great putters like it gets past the hole, it rolls out like 9 feet, 8 feet,
Exactly.
7 feet.
Yeah.
And you're toast.
Yeah, it's done.
3 putt from there.
I retract that statement. We'll go up to the next Masters next year. This will come up again. I will say I can do it. Then I will watch the Masters and
be
I
like,
will
I can't.
realize I cannot do
Yeah.
it. DXPS man says, new drinking game. Take a drink every time Geoff gives someone flowers or interrupts another member of the cast. Only person making it to the end is Amanda Vance. I've never seen a guy talk so much without saying anything.
Thanks for watching the show. I like that there's some contamination there. He's obviously a Spaces fan.
Yep. He knows Amanda
So as
Vance
everyone
drinks a lot.
says, like when Spaces talk happens, our retention rate
They drop big
literally
Lately.
crashes harder than your stocks last week.
time. You do. I say there's everybody has vocabulary of things they say a lot. You do say you give someone flowers a lot.
But I didn't even
wanna
say
give
that
them their
once
flowers.
today.
Not today. Not today. But it is
Because here's the problem. I feel like I have to do that when I shit on that person a lot.
Yeah.
So I want to make it clear I still don't like you very much, or maybe I don't like you, but in this instance, I'll give it to you.
Even though he's yelled at me before, he's still never given me flowers.
Yeah.
You got to earn them.
Okay, fair.
I'll never forget the day where you yelled at him off air. It was so.
What
fun.
was going? We were lagging. I wanted to start.
It was the last time Jason filled in for Kirk. We were doing like our pre-show rundown. We finished it, or like just really quickly. We go over what we're going to talk about.
I had a question that I was asking. I forget what it was, but
You were just talking, and he wanted to start the show.
Yeah, it's
you talked a long time.
We were running a little
You
long.
were
to be
we were
honest,
late,
but
and like
but I don't know. Like the blame wasn't. It was
No,
on
I-
everybody, not just you.
I wasn't even. Kirk was here. I wasn't even yapping to myself.
It was a
I was
four-person
talking-
show.
I
That's
was
when-
talking with
over there.
Kirk.
Yeah, that's when
I
you
was
had the
yapping with
Cole's
Kirk.
notes with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Listen, like I say, you should take it as a point that I feel comfortable enough with you to say that.
you told him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But I
It's-
wouldn't.
And then you acted like it never happened.
But then I
When
can't-
we pointed it out, you're like, no, that never happened.
I didn't remember it, but then I replayed the situation in my head, and then unsolicited, I was like, "Holy shit, guys, you were right. That did happen." But again, you should take it like be flattered.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll-
Because
I wish I
there's-
had the footage, guys. I don't have
man,
it.
we can reenact. one
You
day.
should be flattered because there's people who I wouldn't say that to, even though I'm thinking it, because I don't feel like we have a good enough relationship.
You're in his inner circle enough that
Okay.
he's comfortable telling you to shut the fuck
So you
up.
wanted to say that to Kirk last week, but you weren't able to do
No,
it.
I don't think Kirk's ever made me
kidding,
want to
I'm
say
kidding.
that, but I would say I don't feel like me and Kirk are on a level where I would say that.
So that's why you yelled at me and not him when we were talking.
No, it was you. You asked a question. You asked
No,
a question
you were
that
going on
pissed
a
me
lot,
off.
Cafe. You had a lot to say. It was,
You pissed me off,
Yeah.
but we brought you in because we needed your expertise.
My expertise.
All right. Another person a lot to say this week, and it's gonna
Look
be
at that fucking king.
It's gonna be a GRP wins segment here. George Riley Panagakis, popular on this show. Just a lot of different stuff this week. First of all, showing off his swing, and
Look at that flex.
it's
pretty
not the
good.
worst form I've ever seen.
No. George has a great swing. Like this video is hilarious, by the way. It's like a minute and a half of him at the driving range, but he finds a random guy to take a video of him. He tells him he's got a few thousand followers on Twitter. Like
But how many
But he's
swings
not-
does he get off in the video?
3.
But the guy wasn't filming. It's on the floor.
But he was talking to another guy.
Yeah,
He's
it's
talking to the guy next to him. I will say I would love to play a round of golf.
I
with
would
George.
love for George to have
But he's like,
broken the
first
camera.
swing of the year, boys, this and that. And he goes and pipes. He's
First swing of
that
the
was
year?
that one was a little thin. No divot.
No divot was crazy on the mat.
Well,
Like-
I think he meant like
He wouldn't take
have
one.
taken a divot. But it was great. The only thing that, and listen, I'm sure I've done stuff before that's rather embarrassing. I couldn't help but notice that this shirt is way too small for him when he was swinging.
Listen,
Like every time
when
he
he
would
comes
swing, it
up,
would
the
come
barrel
up to
would
like,
come out,
yeah.
yeah.
We experience it. It fit last year at the start of golf season. We thought we could pull it off again.
Couple ham off the bones later.
We
like,
learned.
Look
We
at
learned
this.
the hard way. Look at
Great
head
turn,
it down,
like-
turn,
Oh,
flex.
Maybe it's something to do with some of the meals.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
could've
the
been.
French
maybe
toast. Jesus
maybe what is
Christ.
this one? He says, I've moved up this breakfast to once a month. Cinnamon swirl French toast with candied pecan
Buddy,
and
let's
vanilla
go.
frosting. And then Jeff Benson calls him out. The higher-ups at Cirque are on the watch. He says, George, you literally had the same meal less than 2 whole weeks ago.
This is the second time he's gotten got in a couple months of saying like this. I'm eating this once a month and he doesn't. I often like people ask me about because I met George a few times in person. They ask me, they're like, "Is this
it
George?"
real?
I'm like, "Yes, this is George." But then he does stuff like this, where I'm like, "Is he that good at like engagement farming that he's intentionally doing this stuff at this point?"
He's the mastermind.
Okay, so last week on this show, we talked about the other show, and thank you, because I said nice things about Nadeau
Yep.
throughout the show. He forgot that I said some of the things that I think he was blaming Kirk for saying. That is all to say, I am a mark if George is truly, like, inauthentically engagement baiting. I'm a mark.
Yeah.
I'm not in on the joke. I've been got.
It just amazes me that with the breakfast pictures, especially, how much engagement he actually gets on those. At this point, he's been posting pictures of breakfasts for half a year.
Longer
who's,
now.
Who's still interested in this content? I don't know what is happening.
He's happy doing it.
He is like the Dos Equis most interesting guy in the world.
100%.
Where like everybody's just got to see what he's doing. Like who cares about the breakfast photos nowadays? They get like 100 likes. People are responding to him. I don't know what's happening in the
I
world.
can't even imagine that this guy has a single hater.
Oh, yes, he does.
Like, I know. It befuddles me. Like, people take him seriously enough where they hate him. Like, I could get not finding it funny, finding it annoying, not wanting to follow him.
Yeah.
But, like, hating this harmless man who's just buying his mom lotto tickets and lives at home. Like, what is there to hate?
Is there a single female in the space that likes George?
Okay.
Because he has gone after.
The females can hate him.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
females
Yeah.
deserve to hate him. Hey, George, your girl Pam, she crushed it. She bet Rory after Thursday.
She did.
Give her flowers.
Yes. Yeah.
You like that?
Meanwhile, he went-
DMB band 5-5.
Meanwhile, he went 0 for 7 on his master picks, right?
Well,
Like-
his mat. Well,
Well,
We're gonna get into this.
We've got
Sorry,
one.
sorry,
We've
sorry.
got
Hold
one
on,
lined up here.
We got the tour de force, but Yeah, if George is like, if this is a work, I'm like an 8-year-old boy watching Giannetti get thrown through the barber shop window.
Yes.
Marty Jannetty.
You know what's that?
Yeah.
You got
Hit
that?
him with the drop
You
kick,
look like
Marty
Marty
Jannetty.
Jannetty right now.
I'll take it.
No, you look like Shawn Michaels did back in the day. You got the same look that Michaels
Ooh.
did when he put Jannetty through the barbershop window.
I'm shocked you knew that.
It's an Action Bronson line. Hit him with the drop kick, Marty Jannetty. It's a rapper.
Yeah, but you know what the barber shop window is?
Yeah, I know what the barbershop window is.
Are
I'm
you
like,
just saying that now?
No, I have like a clear image in my head of him getting thrown through a
Yeah, it's
window.
the heel turn. Yeah.
I don't know the context of it, but I've
Okay,
seen the
sure.
GIF
They were
before.
tag
That's
team
enough.
partners, and Shawn Michaels is the better wrestler, and they wanted
Literal-
to elevate
like-
him. And
Put him over.
Every little boy's favorite tag team.
Eh.
It was just like crushing Saturday morning.
That's out of context. That's crazy.
You fucking little boy watching Superstars in those
sorry.
Saturday
Yes.
morning. What are you talking
not
about?
like those Saturday at noon, I think. They
Yeah,
did
that was it.
Superstars. Yeah. Wow.
That's all you got.
All right.
Here is the one of the Masters bet in particular. Clive Bixby, who does content with the Hammer at Forward Progress, messaged earlier on in the day, odds that GRP bets an early first-round leader. That's a big long shot. And then later in the day, GRP posts, just live bet on DK, Danny Willett top 10, $100 at plus 1,600.
He bet Willett last year to win a couple minutes into the tournament also.
GRP
he did.
live betting is so predictable.
But GRP, listen, I mean, credit to George. No flowers, just credit.
Okay.
For what? Just issuing a bunch of bad live
Nope.
bets every major
No,
golf
no,
tournament?
no. That because he actually, we'll get to it in a moment. But Zach played well. But George has this thing where he truly believes if you once won the Masters, no matter how old you are,
Yeah.
you can still win the Masters.
Yes.
I could have seen George 10 years ago betting Sandy Lyle and Larry Mize and
Jose
shit.
Maria Olazabal
Yeah, like-
every year. Fred Couples, Fred Couples. I don't know why he's not on his card. Yeah, it's pretty predictable with the golf betting. I just found like this happened within like 10 minutes. Clive messaged this in our Forward Progress chat group, and then like literally right afterwards, GRP posted Danny Willett live bet. Now I will say,
Super fans, Clive hates George, but he's a fan. Super fans know this is George's MO.
I don't know that Clive hates George.
Hate's a strong word. I didn't mean it like that. No time for
No
George.
time for George.
Yeah.
Yes,
No
that's what
time for
Yeah.
George.
We
time
should
for
say, though, like, as
Georgie.
part of his Masters bets, we did openly mock him for betting Zach Johnson to win the Masters. And Zach Johnson did finish T10. And Geoff, you did say that if Zach Johnson finishes T10, you will go out to Chicago this summer
Yeah.
and you're going to do some content with George.
So, I mean, it was an honor. It's literally, I think Rob, the amount of conversations I've had with Rob about this content idea, an inkling of me like really wanted Zach to finish top 10. It's like, I really want to do this thing. I kind of don't want to do it on my own volition. I want to be forced into
You need
it.
the push. You need the push.
What's a way that like I can do it, but like not do it? And now I'm in. Now, because this was like a bet against myself, no one proposed it. It wasn't from a fight. Like I do make the rules.
Yes.
Because Rob's being nice. I think my first initial claim was I would fucking take a page out of Bosco's book and Greyhound to Chicago.
Oh my God.
On like just moments examination after that, I was like, no, I'm actually making the rules
I
here.
like you too much to
I'd
make
follow
you do
through with
that, too.
that. I'm way too blessed to Greyhound to fucking Chicago or to Greyhound anywhere. So that's out. But George, I mean, this needs to be planned. Seeing the golf thing, maybe we should go golfing. If we go golfing, maybe this needs to be multi-day. But I want at least like 3 diners, a bagel shop.
Is this all in one day?
I'm thinking it's like max 2 days.
Okay.
Go to
It's
the
like
range
the-
with him at least. Hit
The
some
same
balls.
way Portnoy does 10 pizza shops
reviews?
in a
Yeah.
day. And I'll pay for, I don't know whether it's like I chauffeur him around or I get a ride in
he
his
gets
mom's
his mom's
car.
car. Maybe his mom will drive you around.
We should actually rent you a limo and get you a full limo driver suit, and you should have to drive him around.
That would be great.
No, because I want to go, I want the experience.
I'll be
Those
the limo
cinnamon
driver.
swirl pecans, I'm going to try. I want to try the favorites. I want him to introduce me to the diner waitresses.
You're going to go play pot limit Omaha with him?
I don't know if I got enough time. The thing is, Porter does like a great in and out. It's not O'Hare. It's the other one.
I don't know the other airport.
See, I don't know, but listen, this is on.
I love
and
Flying
then
Porter.
and then Rob, but like I don't know that you can trust mine or George's camera work to get the appropriate futures
Probably gonna have to
content
send Jay.
everyone needs.
I'll
Because
be your chauffeur. I'll drive you guys around.
me and like yucking it up over breakfast, hearing him talk futures to me. Like, I'm sorry, Bet Bash has nothing on that as far as I'm concerned.
You could do like a comedians in cars getting coffee type of thing.
No, I
Right.
want to be in the diner. I want the
Yeah.
bagels. I want it all. But I don't know how much is like
When is it? What's too much?
yeah,
How much
I don't know. I don't want to I don't want to overwork George. I don't want to overfeed him. Like,
I get it.
but what's the like?
Would you
the
split-
only
would you split meals
here's
with
the
him?
thing. Like, well, I'll pay for them.
No, like you guys get one meal and split it.
Okay, maybe I have no problem putting my fork into a cinnamon swirl because we got 3 others
Well, if
breakfasts
you want
to
to try,
try.
like, 2 things and you just each get one,
One,
and
yeah.
you split
Yeah,
it down the
yeah.
middle and
Yeah,
Maybe
and
three
listen,
ways as well,
he
throw
said
me
he
in there.
lost 700 on the Masters.
yeah.
Transparent, documented. I'm like, yeah, but you could sub the cost of all the food I'm gonna feed you, right? Like maybe the Hammer will pick that up. I could pick it up. We could work this out because it is a content play. But yeah, like I don't know, rifling through NFL futures, carb loading with George. Like anyone who knows me, like that's the fucking
made in heaven.
goods.
Oh, it sounds amazing.
I've never even been to this Culver's, his favorite fast food place. Like there's so many things I want to do with George. I don't know that there's enough time.
Would you visit a strip club with George? Oh my god.
I don't know. I want his routine. I would board flip for snakes with George.
Oh my god, that would be so good.
Yeah, you'd see me. I'd get a whole outfit. Like I'd get those.
A ghillie suit, like
Yeah, I'd get a suit.
camo.
I'd have, but I'd have like
Boots.
boots up to
Yeah.
like here. I'm not going like George.
Snake
George
catcher.
raw dogs it. Like, I would board flip. Maybe I'd check out the casino. Like I would like to do a day in the life
Of George.
Like when he goes into that casino,
We're gonna make it happen.
are people like, "Hey George"?
Yeah.
You know, the pit boss is "Sup, George?" Is everyone being like, "Who you like this week, George?" Like, I want to. Like, listen, I talk to you like anyone that wants to talk to me about George off air. Like, it's rare, right? There aren't many people in my real life. There's a couple of my buddies who adore him. But yeah, as you can see, I'm excited. Like, you think I'm upset I lost this bet? No. There's one person who was sweating the bet. It probably was my wife. I got a busy summer. A lot of jaunts out of town.
You're back to
You got to know. You don't know what jaunt
Is that
is?
not his Jeffism? Jaunt? Who
What
you?
the fuck? No.
Go look. Whatever. How do you spell that? Jaunt.
Jaunt.
Okay, go look that up. Tell
Yeah,
me
it's
the,
just
tell me
like
the
a-
Google chart on usage for that. Like
It's like a leisurely stroll.
No, it's like I got
A
like.
short excursion.
Yeah.
or
no.
journey
Tell
for
me the
pleasure.
Google chart on like word usage because there's word usage over time. And like,
I
give,
don't
You're
know.
not doing yourself any
don't know.
favors.
I got
with this
enough
one, Jay.
things going on, like for quick in and outs of the
Yeah.
city
You're
this
gonna
summer.
be absentee dad again in the summer.
Where it's like, but we'll see. Like he works for his mom, I work for my dad. Maybe we can make this a weekday thing.
There you go. Maybe you can bring him up to Toronto at some point, and he could get a trip around the candle factory as well.
Maybe we could check out some Dollaramas, help make sure the shelves are looking good. But George, I'm excited for this.
Okay.
I am. But what is like a fair? What's a good? Does it need to be 2 days?
We'll talk about. I have some ideas that we haven't discussed yet on air that we'll talk about because I want some surprises in there as well. But I think a couple days is more than fair.
And I'd absolutely like rip the driving range with George, if not like a 9 little hole par 3 circuit.
Oh yeah.
not full 18. You think he can handle a full 18?
Yeah, with that move, you think he's taking a lot of shots?
I mean, like, yeah, fair.
I'm joking, but
He looked totally fine
Yeah.
there. Are you done on the jaunt, by the way?
Yeah, I'm done.
You looked it up and you realize you're wrong.
No, it's definitely trending down since like the 90s, but like I'll give it to you. 90s is fair.
A couple other ones here from the GRP segment, by the way. So he posted originally Western Union, Walmart. I mentioned a few weeks ago I'll be accepting Western Union to pay for my picks, and you guys laughed at me. I just left Walmart, and they only charge $5 to send $500 from Illinois to California. Someone owes me an apology.
Look at the amount of comments on that relative.
72 comments, 59 likes, 68,000 engagement, or whatever the term is there, but like people have seen the tweet. And then Chris Stierkis at Flup No Lied, who does the Friday show on Circleback alongside myself, says, can I get an early bird discount if I sign up now? And George says, yeah, you get a 10% early discount and the 10% Greek discount. I'm expecting 40 picks, so it's only $20. Chris Stierkis is not Greek.
Okay,
He is not Greek.
He doesn't even remotely.
I don't know why GRP thought, but Chris is not Greek.
I'm giving George his flowers here because Dirkis is
You're
a
giving him
very
his flowers?
yes,
Oh, yeah?
very close Greek name. It could come off as Greek.
No, it's too short.
Yeah, but it could have been shortened from Dirkalamos or Dirk.
What is Chris
Dirkalopoulos.
Dirkis' background?
I don't know.
I'm gonna guess
not
like
Greek, apparently.
incredibly white.
Well, why would just take your
I
Greek
think-
discount and say nothing?
I don't want to know. I'm gonna make some guesses.
3,200.
I looked up the typical like where the name originates
I'm
from.
gonna guess. Dutch.
It is
Is
Wow.
it?
North German and Dutch.
I was gonna go
I
like
just-
Scandinavian first, and then I.
He may not be. Of
He may
that
not be.
origin,
That just
Chris
like could be the
Dirkis, but
origin of the name.
That's where the name.
He's definitely not Greek.
There's
And
no
also,
reason to think he's Greek.
The Western Union stuff, like George, nobody. Your customers are what matters.
Yeah.
If no one can pay for your picks, they're not going to.
Just set up a Patreon. It takes like 2 minutes.
Well, then he's got to give money to Patreon, though.
But just charge $505 and you're gonna end up giving less than like the buyers will be like the percentage will be
but
less.
just have a real way that people could pay you if
of
you're going to
course.
sell
PayPal,
picks.
like fuck.
Yeah,
anything.
Apple Pay, whatever, Zelly. Like, there's a million apps
E-transfer.
that aren't Western Union.
E-transfer's not in the U.S.
Canadian, yeah.
Crazy.
It's a
Anyways,
Canadian thing.
last little segment here. There's been a lot of people making parody GRP accounts, and George thinks that they're fake people trying to impersonate him. He says, "Look out! There's a few fake GRP Wins Twitter accounts. To confirm, click on my picture and you'll see my Twitter handle, GRP Wins in parentheses, and my Twitter name also in parentheses." George Riley Panagakis.
So-
and here's a couple examples. Have you
seen these?
George
Win.
George
GUI.
Win Panagakis at GRP Wins, which is so good. Once a month classic. California roll from Golden Dragon, so it's an Asian version of George. And then somebody made a George Riley Panagak. Basically made like a black version of George. And some white sports bettor who I've never heard of is claiming I am impersonating him. While I am flattered, the truth is we happen to share a similar name and apparently similar taste in barbecue.
Very
Here is
racist joke.
proof. I hope we can treat each other with more respect in the future. And it's a fake ID, but people have been replying to George under these tweets saying, "George, I sent my $2,700 Western Union to these guys. What do I do? Did they scam me?" And as far as I'm aware, hopefully when he watches this, he's aware. They're parodies, George.
Well, there's going to be like another 20 this week.
Nobody sent any
money.
money to anybody. Don't worry, man.
Do you know how popular you are?
To have parodies,
parody
yeah,
accounts?
exactly.
This many?
Yeah, this is like agreed.
It's a cult following at this
It
point.
really is.
You're like
look
tearing
at his
up, bro. Like,
here's another Twitter guy trying to use my name, image, and likeness.
At least he won't be fooling many people.
Oh man.
Wait, I just realized is this signature supposed to be the
no,
name or
it's just
That's
it's
just
just
standard?
ChatGPT like
The
give me
AI,
a-
the AI was
give me a
only hit
license
so
of
many
this
marks.
guy
what does
like
it say?
Oh man.
Caitlin, it's
Little
someone else's
Hayes?
name. Yeah, don't. It's the acting chief administrator.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway,
this is a
sorry.
very. It's got to be very flattering though. If I know he's
he
upset
loves
about
it.
it.
No, he loves it.
He's-
Come on,
he's
he
flustered.
loves
He's
this. He
worried,
loves
man.
this.
Fuck man.
People are
that's too
losing
good.
money. They're sending it to the scammers.
No, he's actually a little bit worried. I heard him in one of like the other spaces. George, big like spaces guy. He's
spaces
been
guy.
showing up in them. He enjoys the conversations.
The content man.
And he was like, and then a bunch of them. And someone has a soundboard of his.
Yeah,
of
there's
his
people
mom.
That's
running
so
spaces with a George soundboard. They are literally just talking to themselves using a George soundboard. This is what he has become. He is the most interesting man in the world.
Honestly, I mean, it's April. Like maybe you've got to like. I don't want to miss NFL future season though. That's where
Coming
I
up
want to
soon.
be with George. But maybe I gotta push this trip up. Like strike while the iron's hot. Like George has never been hotter.
I know.
I mean, but a month from now, he might be even bigger.
Yeah.
But he might have bottomed out. Like
Might have bottomed out. Might have said the wrong thing on
You
the internet.
got to do it before he starts tracking Kelly in Vegas. That's the thing, because
Yeah,
it's gonna go
that-
downhill.
It's gonna go downhill
fast
quick,
because
I think,
like
at that. Yeah.
that is the one thing I say this as a George superfan. It's the same way. Like I although their views are like maybe similar but different. I love Nadeau. It's up until it's not enough to make me like not be a fan. But I am not in. I don't agree with like a lot of the women's stuff.
Well, he should.
I-
he should. If he's going to do the whole tracking thing, he should also pick some men.
100%.
Dude, like it feels like he has a personal vendetta.
It's all
against
personal.
every single woman in the industry.
100%. And I'm going to issue a challenge out to George right now. It's not too hard to track more than one person. You can track two people if you want.
He did track Chernoff.
He did track Chernoff, but you can add someone else to the list. There's a podcast called The Favorites, and I think you should track them. It's as simple as that.
Sure.
I think you'd get George.
If you-
track
Sell
themselves,
this
though. They
service.
track
you could
be a
talk him
service
into
he
it
sold.
this summer. You'll have our leftovers.
You know what? I'll talk him into that. By the way, I don't know if you heard the spaces that George was on. He he was slouching on his couch, and in the background, his mom started yelling at him.
Where's the cut?
For not? I don't know.
Does anyone have a cut?
I don't. I don't. If someone can find it, and
What was she yelled at him for?
Yelling for slouching on the couch for
and
his
then,
posture.
And then he's like, and then I'm like, wait, George, was that your mom? He's like, yes. I'm like, can we get a shout out for the spaces from your mom? He's like, sure, hold on. She's in the washroom. She comes back out. She comes back out. He's like waiting outside the washroom for his mom. He comes back out. He's like, Mom, come here. Mom, come here. Give a shout out to the spaces. What? Give a shout out to the spaces. It's so.
Do you think she
who are
has
you talking to? Like,
Do you think she's aware of like how
His
big
fame?
he is online?
She'll find out when we drop by in a limo.
Do you think like he'll say, "Hey, look how many followers you have"? She's like, "Oh, that's nice, George."
Yeah.
I think
man.
she would be shocked, as would everyone in his family, as to like how
on, Georgie.
popular he actually was.
Yeah.
It's true. I've always made it a point of pride and a point of emphasis to be honest and transparent with our audience. And look, I'm just going to be real with you here for a minute. We're incredibly proud of what we've built at Circles Off. The audience we have is both smart and loyal, and honestly, better than what most channels could ever dream of. But it's also frustrating for us sometimes because we evaluate the competitors. We see other channels out there with much larger followings than we have because they're better at gaming the YouTube algorithm. And the truth is, YouTube rewards engagement. It's not enough to just make good content. We need likes, we need comments, subscriptions, shares, all of it to get pushed out to more people. So if you've ever gotten value from this show, whether that's entertainment or betting education, if you believe in what we're doing here, we'd really appreciate it if you could help. Hit the like button, leave us a comment, sub if you haven't already, and share it with someone who would really appreciate it too. It sounds small, but it's the only way we can grow this thing and keep pushing Circles Off forwards. Thank you for riding with us. It means more than you know. We'll move it on. Chopping block, our final segment. These are topics that were recommended by you on Twitter using hashtag #CircleBack. And we have some opinions on them, but we couldn't really work them into a full segment. So we'll go through these rapid fire style. And
I don't know. I don't know if we can do rapid fire on this one. But first one up, Jason, our own guy. Thankfully, he's sitting here today. At Takes by Jay. This was on April 12th, posted. Breaking, sources are telling me that this giveaway, referencing a Team Math giveaway, which I'll talk about in a sec, was never paid out, and Team Math Sports will block anyone who asks her about it on Twitter, hashtag #CircleBack. So this was the original post from April 5th, which was Taylor Mathis posting about a March Madness prediction plus giveaway. I'm giving away 1K to one lucky follower that predicts the winner of March Madness correctly. All you have to do is enter is follow these two accounts, reply with your March Madness winner below, and you're in. So the national championship was on April 7th. Jason went 5 days, talked to the person who won. They had not been paid out and came out with this expose piece. But Jason, you explain what happened because Mathis responded because she did end up paying out.
That's very true. They did end up paying out, but at the time of the tweet, the winner was not paid out. That's a fact.
Yeah, but
I messaged the winner.
Do you think it's realistic to have?
Well, okay.
5
5 days.
Hold on.
I mean, I've sent swag to people who haven't got it yet.
But she's
That's
also not
fair.
the one paying it. She's got to pick a winner, pass it up a chain.
Well, that's okay.
I'm giving away 1K. Okay, but listen. Wait.
Jason,
You could argue that I was early. I'll take that criticism. But if you think that the process didn't get expedited and the winner got paid 3 hours after this tweet, by the way, if you don't think that would have happened without my tweet, I think you would have been wrong.
No, you're probably right.
And who knows? What if they?
I don't think the winner would have never gotten paid, but
Okay.
they
I
obviously
think
got paid.
you should have let
faster.
it breathe a little.
Okay,
bit.
I will happily take the
And
criticism that I was early.
5
for this.
days is reasonable to me.
I'm giving away 1K. Follow All In HQ at Slot Squad.
Pause. Mind you,
you're
also
not being fair. You're not being fair.
Listen. The person didn't get paid out, and I tweeted about it. I feel like that's a fair
Did you
thing
get
to do.
10%?
No, I did not get 10%. But also, I want to point out that she
was
responds.
it more than 10%? 15, 20?
Okay. No, I got $0. Let me be very clear about that. But I want to point out that she responded to this tweet. By the way, she unblocked me to respond to me, which was
Worth it.
I found very nice. She
I
also
like
unblocked
that.
me to DM.
That actually
Are you
would
still
make me
unblocked or
feel
you
No,
blocked
no,
again?
she blocked me again. She unblocked me to say that the winner got paid out, and I told her that that's not true. But anyways, she posted a screenshot of her text with whatever group which she was in, and they said specifically, "Hey, the winner's announced. Can you retweet the stuff?" She never retweeted it. It's none of the follow up of the contest was on her main page. So again, listen, maybe I was early. I'll take the criticism on that. That's fine. Bottom line is, guy was not paid out, and listen, was he going to get paid out? We will never know, right? But he is paid out now, and that's it.
I will say my initial reaction to reading this tweet was a big time eye roll.
Okay.
Huge eye roll. Also with the hashtag circle back, like you're trying to create content for the show, which was another eye roll
He's
on
a
top of that.
company man. I'm defending Jason here.
Thank you.
Listen,
Jason did this.
No, because other people do this. They create content specifically and hashtag circle back because they want it to be on the show. Maybe that's because they think it's so good that they want us to also talk about it, but...
I think you give the company a little bit more leeway to pay
Okay,
out
fair.
$1,000.
I think that's fair. That's a fair criticism.
Like if Pizzola was running a contest
Listen, I think
through like a content creator, we're giving away money. Like there's, you gotta let it breathe. And hold on, because I feel like I could be wrong. Because you're a hero. Like you get to wear a cape.
I'm
here.
not looking for the hero tag. Like,
But-
Very
but-
heroic.
I'm just the voice of reason.
I don't know
That's
whether
it.
you were right or wrong about this. You held her feet to the fire earlier in the year about some cash contest.
No.
giveaway
It
or
was
charity thing.
Jason's had a huge turn.
Yeah, well, she blocked me for the dumbest
he was the
reason.
biggest
I gotta
Taylor
look at why
Mathis
she
fan,
blocked me.
and it was a I don't know where exactly
Well,
it started.
let me be
Yeah,
clear.
you're right,
I was
actually.
a fan before she started the crypto stuff. Well, she got involved with the crypto stuff.
You're also not a big fan of the passes. I remember you.
Oh, well, that's everything that came out post crypto.
Those
is just
things still.
not
Does
a
that
fan.
feed still get
I can check for you if you
updated?
want.
How does it work? Like, and this is public information. I'm not like disclosing anything here, but like she's close to almost 9 months pregnant now, right? She's
gotta
over
be
8 months
there, yeah.
pregnant, I believe. So how does the passes stuff work?
There's some people that are into that, so they might even pay more.
I guess.
Yeah. So she did block me. She blocked me for pointing out that she's selling a 5-second video for $3. And I asked her, what about this is good? She blocked me for that. So, and again, listen, I get
Whatever.
I'm sure she gets hate from people, and that's not fair. You should block those people. But like blanket blocking everyone, I think is bullshit.
You're turning me back onto fan of Taylor Mathis.
Yeah, we're
Okay,
gonna
go for
send
it.
we're gonna
Go
send
for
her
it.
we're gonna send her a nice baby gift.
Okay. Are you gonna pay for one of those 5-second videos? $3? Be a good baby gift. Maybe pay for it passes a
like
couple
a-
of months.
No, like
baby
an
basket,
actual
like
baby
some,
gift.
Oh, okay.
Like an actual gift.
Reach out to her, or does she have you blocked?
I'm for sure blocked.
You know,
But I'm not
shockingly,
looking I'm not looking to like engage with her in this way.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I would have waited
Okay,
a little
that,
bit longer.
you know what? That's fair. I'll listen.
For the expose, the break, like,
Hey, Jason
sources
followed
are
it up.
telling
Jason
me-
followed up his
This-
tweet. He said the
it-
winner's
it-
been paid out.
And
I
then
did
you
update
This
it.
was tweeted by Omar instead of takes by Jay. It would be like it's totally within his brand.
Okay.
To do something like that,
Okay.
But
to drum up some sort of controversy that's not there
well,
yet.
also you like take it like the first thing you said is just, I'm giving away 1,000. Like, I was giving away money for a sportsbook this weekend. Some of the tweets might have said, like, tell me who ruined your Thursday at the Masters.
Sure.
I'll give you from this.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean the money, the money wasn't mine.
I'll take all that criticism. The bottom line is someone wasn't paid. I got wind of that.
And
I
then they
asked
got
the guy,
paid.
And then they got paid.
So
like, and again, I'm not trying to play hero. I just someone who's, I'm not going to call her a scammer, but like someone who's known to have been involved in some shady organizations over the past, right?
Okay.
You're right. She's now like, I don't think there's anything wrong with holding someone's feet to the fire like that. You could call it early. I'll take that.
That's kind of fair. And then from the other side, Pizzola's like runs a contest, runs a company, gives away contests. Even the stuff with like Zylbert not being to edit. It's just there's sometimes it just takes like it's annoying.
No,
but sometimes there is like a stupid chain of events that has to occur before people even get the prize.
There's a difference between $1,000 and swag that you have to mail out, though.
No, but
Fair
even
enough.
no,
Like
I'm
that
not.
is-
No.
you can transfer
it's a
money.
lot
I'm not
easier
even-
to send $1,000 than go to
The border
go to the
returns
post
half the
office.
swag we send out anyways.
Yeah,
Comes
it's like,
really-
I'm not even. You're right. I'm not comparing. I'm just saying
Yeah.
there is sort of like
I get it. There's a gray area. Listen, I
just
think
like a chain, and they're like approving the contest from their promotions
Yep.
department. Like,
Yeah.
it's this whole like annoying thing. A couple days.
honestly, I'm curious to hear what the comment section has to say. If they think I was early, if they think I was wrong, if they
I like that.
siding with
You know
me,
what
like,
though? I take back any criticism. I appreciate you're on the beat.
yeah, I'm just trying. Listen,
Like, I appreciate your work
I
in the
think
beat.
somebody DM'd him and he ran with it really hard
On the
before
beat.
doing any fact check.
no, I
That's what
asked the
think.
guy.
Yeah, you asked the guy that DM'd you?
No, on Insta, I asked the winner
Yeah.
on Instagram.
What'd you ask him?
Did you get paid?
Unsolicited.
Did
You're
you
just
ask him if they had reached out to him at all for his information?
No, but like,
Yeah, that's what I'm
it's
saying.
Okay, but like,
these are fair questions.
fine. That's fair, but still, he told me he was reached out to once and he hadn't been paid.
Yeah, and then you tweeted that after.
Yeah, well, he was not paid. Like, he's not
Breaking
paid.
sources are telling me. You buried the lead, man. That's the lead right there.
What, that he's got reached out to, but it's not.
Yes.
Okay, fine,
They
fair.
obviously had the
I'll let
intention
it-
to
They
pay
need
him.
I'll
his
edit the
info. They need congrats, you won.
Yeah.
Like, pass along the whatever Venmo, PayPal, whatever it is they want, and give us a day or two. We'll get it. Whatever.
All
I
right.
like that you're on the beat.
Listen, it's my first time doing something like that. I will take all the criticism.
it's good.
Gotta
and,
do more like investigative
I will.
research
I will.
next
I will.
time.
Next time, I.
This is like a man of the library just
No,
throwing out
that's not.
accusations.
That's
No,
not
because
true.
here's the
I
problem.
don't. Wait,
Here's the
hold on. I don't appreciate being lumped in with someone who consistently lies about stuff when there is.
Here's the man of the library routine.
Okay.
Someone DMs him on Twitter and says, "Hey, I heard so and so did this," and guess what happens? He then goes into space and he states it as a matter of fact. Everyone.
Yeah,
does
but to be
this.
fair though, that's,
And then
that's
he
not
complains-
coming from an
yourself to a
ultra.
higher
That's not
standard.
coming from the person involved who knows 100%. Like, Man Library gets information from these random people. Jason got it specifically from the person who hadn't got a page, so it was confirmed that the person hadn't.
But
been
the full gauntlet of questions that needed to be asked was not asked.
Fair.
Maybe some more questions could have been asked.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll follow
it's
up
one of
harder
those
next time. That's
things
fair. Listen,
where-
I'm learning. I'm happy to learn. I'm happy to
Okay,
improve.
And there's like enough.
You can't like when you go deal with GRP and Geoff in Chicago. Like you got to ask the right questions.
Okay.
You can't just. It's not one and done.
Noted.
You've
Noted.
got to.
Okay.
You've got to realize, like, Taylor will give enough things that you could give her a hard time about.
Exactly.
You don't need to, like.
Exactly. Over time, you're gonna get your chances
Okay,
to
that's fair.
scorch these people.
Okay.
They will come.
I waited and waited for Zylbert to edit his article at midnight
I could
to
see
tear
like,
into
the
him.
smile on Jacob's face when he was telling that story. He knew that something was coming. He got his opportunity. They will come. They're gonna happen naturally.
Listen, I'm not perfect. I'll take all the criticism. I just thought it was the right thing to do at the time.
All right.
We live and we learn. This next one here. Now we got a rapid fire because we've been running a bit long.
Sorry.
But, no. That needed its time. Dale D'Antoni at Uncle Chell says, so you mean to tell me Sean Perry Wins goes on this crazy hot streak pretty much directly after his little boxing match that got him much more exposure? Well, I'll be damned. # circle back.
I want to take this really quickly because I just want to say I don't even really want to talk about Sean Perry on this show. I just don't want people to think that I'm ignoring it altogether. What Dale's saying here is that it's kind of like he's fabricated some amazing record after he's gotten a bunch of exposure, which is honestly very probable that happened. Here's the thing with Sean Perry. Sean Perry is spending a ton of money to document his life and try to get engagement on social media. All the engagement he's getting is pretty much negative because everyone thinks he's a clown. But we are still giving him that engagement. So what I would say to the audience is forget this guy exists and just don't interact with him. And if you don't, he'll eventually go away. Because right now, every post he puts out there with sitting in his underwear with money around him or whatever the fuck he's doing, everyone's commenting, telling him how stupid he is. Guess what? The way the Twitter algorithm works, they don't know that these comments are negative. They're just serving them up to other people. So I'm done with Sean Perry. He's a grifter. He sells picks. He's trying to make money off of very innocent people who don't know any better. And it's not surprising to me that he's amassed an amazing winning record that nobody could verify after he's starting to
Well,
grow
some
his following.
people may have seen some deleted posts, or maybe like he would only showcase the stuff that won.
Of course. Naturally. Every single bet he goes and places over the counter at Circa or some other always fucking
Is
loses.
the fight still on? Is this fight still on?
I don't even
He was like 1-11 before the fight too, so it's like not.
well, whatever.
Don't worry,
I
your
didn't
your
look at
waist
clips.
isn't in the shot. So
There you go.
you'll
Yeah,
be
your
okay.
leg's covered now.
Yeah, I just outed myself.
That's-
Sorry, that the Perry Elf staged fight, is that still a staged fight?
From what I believe, yes. Mazzy pulled out of his fight yesterday with Elf, which was weird because he initiated it. He's trying to get Elf to fight some other like really jack dude instead. I don't know, whatever. It's a disaster, as it always is.
Next tweet. Oh.
No.
Next tweet comes from Rob himself saying, a lot of people have asked about a draft prop show. I think this is in just so Rob can get it out to people who keep asking for it. But people keep asking for a draft show, but you're saying it's hard to recommend bets when the books are taking $50 a pop and moving off that. That's not helping anyone. Sadly, that's what the NFL draft betting has become.
Yeah, so I included this because I posted this and immediately got a bunch of messages, DMs from people or Telegram messages about it being like a direct shot at Adam Chernoff, which it's kind of an indirect shot at Adam Chernoff. It's not a direct. I don't. The problem with the content space is that no matter what you put out in the betting side of things, it's going to be met with criticism. You put out something on game day, people are like, well, you can't win on game day. Why would you put that out? You put out something when the limits are too small, people are like, why are you putting it out if the limits are too small? There's always going to be someone who's like, you should not be posting this regardless. I'm not a big fan of the draft content that's out there right now because the market is like so limited.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you're just trying to build an NFL brand and you want to talk draft, go for it. I just don't think it's super valuable for our audience to be doing these types of shows. I don't think it's helping.
We tried it a bit last year too. Like I can speak a little bit towards this on Forward Progress. And like again, the biggest issue we ran into is that like there were times where we would record a video and the turnaround time it would move after that, right? Because like it's just not worth. It's frankly not worth it. And then also on top of that, like if you're betting into these small markets and you're moving this stuff off of the content that you see, like chances are you'll end up like GRP and have a limited DraftKings account, right? Like it's super easy to get limited on this stuff, anyways. It's the value isn't really there. But if you like the NFL draft and you want to watch the NFL draft, you didn't tell me to do this. I'm doing this myself. We're doing a live stream on Forward Progress most likely. So make sure you subscribe.
Yeah, you know that you're probably hosting that, right?
I know I'm hosting
You know
that.
that it's very likely the Leafs will be playing that night, right?
I am aware of that as well.
Ugh, that's the worst. Not even that I give a shit about the Leafs.
The
It
last
just
2 years I had to do
ruins my. We have a great draft party when the Leafs are playing. It takes away from my
I
draft
know.
party.
Well, I'm going to see Metallica then. I think Jacob's going to be at that show as well.
I am.
Are you inviting him up to your booth?
We'll see. If there's space in the box, he can.
You should. Maybe just a pregame.
Jason,
It's been planned for a
help me
long
out here.
time. But yeah, that's going to be I wanted to go to Ottawa, potentially go to Ottawa. Those are likely the Leafs road games.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to not work out, but yeah.
I am very like pro better.
Mm-hmm.
Like right, Kirk is always pro book.
Yeah. Well, he's an agent.
Okay.
It's over my head now. That being said, when it comes to the draft, I'm actually pro book. I think they have the right. Like, I don't even know why they let you guys like come in and free roll this shit.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm not. I would
like-
never book NFL draft.
Yeah,
Why would you? Not that I'm a bookmaker, but if I was, it's an information-based market.
Like
You're
if-
just going to get picked off by sharps.
If they
everywhere.
wanted to put up nothing until like 10 days before the draft, and even then have the market small,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even criticize them. And you know me, I like to criticize them for almost anything.
We know why they post this stuff, though. It's not like this is more marketing than
Yeah, I
anything
agree.
else. It's all just to get like, because if I'm if I'm the average Joe and I see like, and I want to bet on the NFL draft, and I see that my sportsbook, that the one sportsbook that I go to, because most average Joes do that, like the one sportsbook that I go to doesn't have that offering, and it's a large sportsbook, I'd be pissed. I'm like, come on, I want to get some like, I don't know, Travis Hunter first overall, or like Ashton Gene T first overall, because I'm a psycho and I know nothing about how the draft works. I just want a little bit of a sweat.
At this point, they are partners. They are league partners.
True.
And not only are they league partners, they're partners with so many content operations. It is actually like feeds the content machine, the draft conversation.
Yep.
The props are as relevant as the mock drafts if you listen to a lot of shows. So you're right, it is almost there to facilitate the content for which they are paying so much money to sponsor to begin with in many cases.
Totally agree.
Next one up here, it's a video of Dave Portnoy using a hammer.
This is old. Right?
This is old.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
This is old.
This is really old.
It's resurfaced
This is when he got like a dog, Miss Peaches, and she was escaping.
Bingo. At the end,
Okay, well, anyways, it's just from Still Gray posting resurfacing the video. Who he very clearly
This
does
is.
not
Do you know
understand.
who
This is an engagement bait
Do you
account.
know whose account this is?
Political engagement bait account.
yes. This was a circle back hashtag. I only want to comment on this because I hate when stuff like this. Dave, who gives a fuck if Dave Portnoy cannot use the guy's like building a content brand.
Yeah.
He's not building a fucking patio like a deck in
I'm
the
not
back.
hiring you, buddy.
Who gives
What
a shit?
you-
I don't know how to change a tire on a car. Like you kill me.
he's
You want to
also-
make content? Watch me use a hammer.
exactly.
I mean, that works. It's very on brand for us.
Yeah, I guess.
I get like sure.
we are.
Watch me.
If you had
watch
like a
me
nail,
like
you
cook.
stick
It'd be
a nail in a 2x4. How many times you have to swing before you get the nail?
Have you guys ever
in the
played
2x4?
Stumpy?
What's that?
Maybe by a different name. I don't know.
You get a
Stumpy.
block of like a tree, like a little stump from a tree.
Okay.
You put a nail in it, hammer, and the first, like, you go back and forth. The first person who gets it in, the other person has to drink.
Sorry, this
Drink-
is a drinking
drink game
It's
I used to
called
play-
Stumpy.
Yeah, we
where
found-
you get the stump
Yeah,
of a tree.
there was a stump
and
on the
you
tree on the
hammer
side of the
nails
road.
into
This
it.
doesn't sound too bad.
It's actually fun. It's obviously a little dangerous, but
Well, as you get like more increasingly drunk,
Oh,
you're not
yeah.
going to hit the nail.
The initial pop is the most dangerous. But yeah, you obviously, like, you one swing, and if you get it in, the other person drinks.
Come into
Anyways,
circles off in May. Jeff versus Jason and Stumpy.
I don't do like
You don't play like Kings? You don't do
assembly.
drink?
Assembly. These hands aren't for assembly required.
they're for smashing bets on your phone.
That's it.
Yeah, no, they're not.
Hands are for betting and betting only.
I know, but you think like when I was a kid and I wanted a toy, if it needed to be assembled, my dad was like, "No, pick something else." Like we can't assemble. Like we don't Fienberg, man. We don't build things.
Right.
Next one here comes from Pay the Vig at Pay the Vig 1, who posted a video showing the audio from a recent Spaces where NBA Green Beans was talking about winning 9,000. This one I didn't quite understand completely, so I hope one of you has a better understanding of it. But NBA Green Beans posted or talked about winning $9,000 on a specific day doing betting, but his paid service took a loss on the day,
that's so
the same
good.
day.
That's
And
exactly it.
He was mentioning that he was betting on exchanges and he had a really good day, even though his paid service had a losing day.
Brett.
It's a horrible look.
Brett heel turn.
Well, but this is the problem.
Yeah, Brett.
Well, but,
You
but-
offered to pay for his legal services if he ever had like.
Yeah, but that guy was gonna sue him.
him.
But like, listen, and then Brett's like, "Yeah, Fienberg, you're the man," or not that was ever real. He's like, "Yeah, I like Fienberg." Then I, say other things, and
What'd you say?
He doesn't like me. Well, it's not really him.
Okay.
Because he is like Elf's
crony.
bodyguard. He's Elf's virtual bodyguard.
Yeah.
I made a comment in the Elf
Prop
space
swap.
last week in the prop swap show that triggered Elf a little bit. But in being triggered, you can see his like thumbs moving really fast. I
remember that.
And then, poof! Magic. 20 seconds later, guess who
Brett's in
appeared?
there.
Snuffleupagus, I guess.
Yeah.
Brett appears.
Enough
I
Jeff-
thought it
another
was
Jeffism.
Snuffleupagus, but I could be wrong.
Jeffism.
Is it Snuffleup or Snuffleup?
I think it's Snuffleup.
Oh, yeah?
I could be wrong. I don't know.
I could be wrong as
That's
well.
still a Jeffism, by the way.
Snuffleupagus was Sesame Street, no?
Sure, but it's
No, I
still
think
a
that was more
Jeffism.
like TVO's version of Sesame Street.
Really?
Yeah, like some Canadian knockoff
Sesame
Sesame
Street?
Street. But this is
heard that too,
on Sesame Street.
Yes. Don't worry, it's all good.
It's all good.
Okay, first of all, on this side of things, this is like, again, why you should be very cautious of buying picks from anyone. There's lots of people who can win at betting. Being able to deliver that value to the clients is very difficult. End of story. It's that simple. And I can. There's going to be there's a situation like this every single day where someone touts a bunch of picks that lose to their clients. They happen to bet something differently and they win. It's just another criticism of the entire pick selling industry. But
I want to reiterate: if you can't win on your own, no tout is going to help you convert yourself to a winner. At least I don't think. And you definitely, if you can't win on your own, you won't be able to tell if someone is a winning better or losing better. So it makes it even worse.
Through all the haze of Rory winning the Masters, I don't see very much on Twitter, but I saw a video of him in like a sparring thing, losing a tooth.
That is also apparently fake. A lot of people calling out saying that there's no picture evidence of Brett losing a tooth. Someone asked him last night on Spaces, wasn't willing to post a picture. I could see why someone wouldn't want to post a picture of like them with a chipped tooth.
Not everyone's George.
Yeah, I know, right?
He just wants to smile in front of his pancakes with a chipped tooth.
I'm just really out on like every boxing build-up. I'm really out on every boxing build-up.
Well, there's only one reason why he does this, is because it's obviously a major payday for him from the sponsors.
Well, of course, but like, does anyone give a shit about the build-up?
No.
Maybe I'm in the minority.
No. I don't think anyone cares. But you almost have to promote it. Like, that's part of the.
Sure.
I could be wrong. Like, I just don't understand.
It's
like Elf says he's in a content house, but he's like, I got to get a sponsor to pay for this house.
Yeah.
So they don't have a sponsor yet? They're just doing it on the fly?
Well, I assume they have a sponsor, but he's not going to get paid until they actually fight, because last time they were supposed to be a fight, they pulled out. And this is the second time we saw recently that someone's pulled out. So there's now 2 times where there's been one occurrence of a fight, 3 planned events, and 2 of them people have pulled out.
Yeah.
So
the next one here, there's no specific tweet to go with it, but it's just
I jumped the gun on that, sorry.
Well, Jeff's asked for the floor.
Yeah,
I think
Geoff
Jason
wanted this one.
I actually think Jason suggested it, and Jason, as a neutral party, or I don't know how neutral, might because when I came in today, Jace reminded me that I pushed a button on Elf last week. So why don't you talk about it?
Well, no, there was just the prop swap thing going on. You said your piece on prop swaps, which I thought was really good. That guy's a loser. We don't have to talk about that. I feel like it's already been beaten into the dirt.
Friday show did.
Yeah.
It's all coming back to me.
Yeah, and as a part of like what you were talking about with the prop swap, you're like, I commend you, Elf, because like you've graduated from like hustler to scam, something along those lines. You might have
called him a scammer.
Yes, I did, but actually remember it differently. Elf encouraged the prop swap guy, being like I know it's tough today, but in a week no one will remember any of this. I responded, that's great advice from Elf. He's transitioned from like hustler to scammer. I said Elf and scammer in the same sentence. He got very, very worked up. And I would just present this question to you guys, Rob, and the room, Jacob, the audience. Does money need to be involved for you to be scammed?
I'm
asking you, in your opinion. And I could see from Elf's perspective, if someone thought, no, if I don't take your money, you were not scammed.
I think you get scammed without money being involved.
Yeah. I would agree.
You can feel like you've been scammed.
Let's say I needed work done on my car, and somebody said they could do it for me, and they do it for free, and they fuck up my car.
Yeah,
I didn't pay for it, so what was I expecting? Right? I would still be aggrieved.
That is being scammed.
Money.
Yeah, so I think the answer is yes to that. But
go ahead. Sorry.
To further the point, though, because you're getting at this to be like. The larger question is Elf a scammer? Is the larger question.
Yeah, well, I think he's long past hustler. Hustler was 2 months ago.
I find it incredibly disappointing what things have become, because every one of the main stars of the show who are on every single night are just a bunch of grifters in the space. Every single one. Mazzy's net worth is more than 50 times mine, probably. That doesn't change the fact that he's accumulated wealth from scamming other people. You have the JW roided guy that's on every night yelling into the mic for half an hour. You have fucking man of the library who's like basically a co-host at this point every night, who's grifted so many things in the past, where he's like who he's aligned himself with, to me, is just very disappointing, because people are like, oh, Rob, like you contributed to this and whatever. And sure, we talked about it. I mean, it's a storyline. I've met Elf in person. He was a great dude in person. I would hang out with him anytime. But I would say to him, I don't want anything to do with these other people.
Elf sees himself as like, I'm Jerry Springer, and the freak shows are on the desk.
Yeah.
would now put it, no, Elf is on, as much as he's the host, Elf is on that stage with them. It's like he's part of the person who slept with his wife's sister. Like, he is fully involved in the, I'm just using a stupid Jerry Springer analogy. He's like fully involved, as much involved in it, especially when he wants to like pretend that he's fighting these people for the honor.
But he needs
on
these
some
people,
level.
Jeff. He needs
no
these
fine.
people.
But
the prop swap spaces
was great.
I thought so.
And
but from a numbers perspective, it's not for him.
And because I called him a scammer, he did not even like me saying good job on the spaces.
Yeah. I thought that was an incredible spaces. There's a story that's very big in gambling Twitter now. Let's have that person on to defend themselves.
Right?
Let people question. That to me is peak content right there. The rest of the stuff I don't care about. But at the end of the day, he is now trying to monetize this.
Yeah.
And anyone who tries to monetize, there are people who are, I'll say, they're going to sell out in a way where it's like just the amount of money they make is all that matters. And I think that's what's happened here.
I will say, though, that I don't think he is a scammer. I'm going to say that.
I agree.
I feel like you could, like, Jeff, from your perspective, he is. But I used this analogy before. It's like,
I think he's done a good job of like working and scamming his audience a bit.
What's the analogy?
Okay, well, the analogy I had was that like wrestling, the biggest thing here was the push-up bet, right? Like you felt
No. That is more of a hustle.
Okay.
That is a hustle.
Okay,
a hustler, and a scammer are not the same thing.
Well, even with the Sean Perry fight, right? Like, he's doing what he can to promote it. Like,
it's all it's like him being mad. I think him and Sean being enemy.
I don't think that's a scam, though, because, like, listen, like, obviously in wrestling, everyone behind closed doors is friends. I'm sure there's like disagreements and whatnot, but
So
like,
that's what it is then.
And you can bet
That's what it is.
So you think wrestling is a scam too? Like, I don't think wrestling is a scam.
No, I'm saying at least wrestling. It's all entertainment. Like, at least
This is entertainment, though. When has this ever not been entertainment?
okay. Hold on a second. That's fine, but this whole thing, in my opinion, the whole thing is like he has been scamming his audience. He keeps saying things are going to happen that don't happen. From the Amanda Vance thing at the hockey game to some like Foss thing with Library running it. Like, there's a lot of things that don't have to involve money. Now, I get if your pure view from like a gambling standpoint is like a scam can occur without you losing some money. I don't like totally disagree with it, but I don't think a scam can only occur at the hands of money being exchanged. The other part of this that I find fascinating is he has 17,000 Twitter followers, which is a lot, but it's not enormous. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't really have Instagram followers. And like, I know how to, like, monetizing your Twitter followers is not the easiest thing to do.
No.
It's very hard.
Yeah, totally agree.
And you could also see that, like, his engagement falls off when it comes to the fight stuff. I don't think people are as into it as some people think. Like, there will be other tweets where he gets like many more likes on those things, and then he tweets about the fight and he'll get like 20 likes, 14 responses.
And then fine, if we're not like fully at scammer, we are swimming in this area, in that part of a pool, we have long past the hustler range.
Yeah, and I think, well, that's fair. And he's got, like, I always believe that he has to be neutral, and it sucks that he's kind of maybe pushing the pendulum over to that side a little bit more. But again, like, I don't think he's a scammer.
I think the closest argument I could get to him being a scammer is that all of these people are assisting in growing each other's brands.
Agreed.
That's what this is all about.
Yeah.
It's all one another helping each other grow. So by aligning himself with Sean Perry, Mazzy, Amanda Vance, Man of the Library, JW, Luke, all these people that are grifters themselves.
Yeah.
You become a grifter yourself.
He's not
It's
the host
guilt
of
by association.
I think
He's not just like the host of Big Brother in this.
No.
He is part of the crew.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and then when people start to come after the crew, and like you start to defend them and mute other people, then we're at full. Like, I don't know that I'm as going to say scammer, but I definitely am. I find it pretty unpleasant nowadays.
Could be
and,
trending the wrong way, I think is the best way to put
Yeah,
it.
I think it's trending in the wrong. And then that's just my personal opinion, but some people do love that. We're gonna end on one more here.
Yeah, last one comes from Lucy Birch, we kind of went out on the Friday show, but a bit of a different light in this one. She says, if you're an adult man bringing your glove to a baseball game, I have absolutely no issue with that. Have the time of your life. What's our take on grown men with glove at the baseball game?
Was this in reference to the guy? I forget his name.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was.
Oh, Zach Hampel?
That's
Yes.
his name.
The worst, one of the worst humans? Yeah. He would be perfect for Elf's show.
Okay.
Don't give them suggestions. Don't give them suggestions. I will say this. You could do whatever the fuck. You pay your ticket to a baseball game, do whatever the fuck you want. If you're a grown man and you're not there with kids and you're going around carrying a baseball glove, I'm probably going to look at you like a little bit.
If any ball, like every ball's got to go to a kid.
100%. Like we knew a guy, Geoff, who he would push like a 4-year-old kid out of the way to get a foul ball, right? Like he's obsessed. If you're going to be a grown man and you are bringing a baseball glove to a game and you do get a ball, that ball's got to go to him.
100%.
So I've never got a foul ball before.
Okay.
Like in my life.
We got to go to a baseball game, bring your glove.
Buddy, the only way you could catch a foul ball where I sit is if it go so far in the sky,
Oh.
it would just plop into your lap.
I'd love to see
You
what
at the Corona rooftop bar or what?
No, but I'm saying I'm not getting no foul ball. They got the nets there. My point being is I'm still having not gotten one. It's like a thing, like anyone. I mean, it's not like hole-in-one level thing I want to do, but I want to get one. Now the problem is if I get one, if I am not with my own child,
Yeah.
I don't even keep the ball. I don't even get to
No,
keep
you
the
find
ball.
the closest kid and you get.
Yeah.
Do you bring a glove to a game?
Get the hell out of here.
That's what I'm saying. Like I brought a glove to a game till I was 5 years old, and then I was.
How old
And
is-
even when my
I
dad
would
would bring
go
me, he wouldn't
when
bring a
my
glove.
grandfather would take me. We'd go early for batting practice.
Yeah.
Stand in the outfield, bring a glove. I have no other glove memories. As an adult, I wouldn't go to the game if they're like, you've got to bring your glove.
How old is too old to bring a glove to the game?
I don't know that there's N or too
I-
old.
I-
20,
you can
You can
27?
still catch the foul ball. Like my wife.
27.
My wife would love.
You bring a glove to a game, and this is why you're
We'll
asking.
see. I don't know.
You actually do.
Haven't been to a game this year. Well, I don't know yet.
But,
So, but
okay,
last
you,
year-
previous year,
You want to go Wednesday?
Jason for sure brought a glove. He definitely brings a glove. No, but even then, like at your age, you're probably gonna spend half the time in your seat watching the game and half the time at the bars and stuff like that.
I would say
around-
more than
Hands
half the
are
time
for
at the
drinking
bars.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
hot
Like you're gonna
dogs.
You
bring
can bring a glove, but it like what for what? To catch the ball to give it to a kid?
No, to hold my hot dog. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, to catch a ball. Like, what else would I be doing? Getting the glove for?
I
But
just-
then you're just giving it to a kid.
Yeah, so I get the enjoyment of fielding a fly
And
ball.
then you get the applause of like the section.
He wants to be the
and-
hero again.
He wants to be the hero. He wants to be.
13 is too old to bring gloves.
Yeah,
12 is okay.
12. I think.
That's my cutoff.
They put the nets up. There's no foul balls.
Whatever. They can
Well,
hit a
there's
home
no
run.
foul balls that are direct line drives. There's still foul balls.
Yeah, I know, but like
Hey, you don't want to get. I mean, I had one whiz by my head at a Royals
Yeah.
game before, like direct liner down the third
I
base
almost,
line.
is it crazy to bring a baseball glove to a hockey game? I almost got hit with a puck one time.
Oh, please stop. I almost did get hit by a puck. If I ever saw somebody with a baseball glove at a hockey game, it would be appalling.
like a goalie's mitt.
Yeah, a goal. Yeah, that's a good idea.
A catcher. A goalie's-
Why don't you bring the goalie's mitt
yeah,
to the
yeah.
baseball game?
Bring a blocker.
Blocker.
Smoke someone else instead.
Bring the goalie's mitt to the baseball game.
Oh, man.
have to do that.
All right. We're going to wrap it up on that. This has been Circle Back. As a reminder, like, subscribe, do all of that stuff. It's great for the YouTube algorithm. Of course, back on Friday with the B team. And there's a little bit of a replacement this week. No Flup. So we got a special guest for the Friday edition as well. Peace out. Thanks for watching.